It is June 29th in the year of our Lord, 2022. This is the Alaboom. We took last week off because I had I had to go to Las Vegas for my niece's wedding. Ever been to Vegas, Barry?
No. I don't think I want to either. It's I'm not into gambling and all that, so I don't really see much. Although I would like to see the Hoover Dam and Lake Mead and other things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Vegas itself really doesn't have any interest for me.
You don't want to go and throw money away?
No. I have Atlantic City an hour away. I don't do it there. Why would I go halfway across the country?
Because it's Vegas.
Yeah. True. But so how was the wedding?
Man, I realized at some point after I slipped out of my 30s, I was no longer going to a wedding as the people that were there to really celebrate the wedding. Yeah. I'm there because
they want cash out of you.
Well, I mean, I'm there because it's like a family thing, right? You know, it's my brother's kids. Of course, I'm going to go to my brother's kid's wedding, right? That kind of thing. But for me, it's one of those things where it's oh, I'm here because, it's like an obligation type thing. But also, it's I probably said 20 words to my niece the entire time I was there. Probably said 10 words to her husband.
Oh yeah.
Because they had their friends there. I don't mean to sound like I'm mad about it or anything like that. It's just, they're there with their friends and all that other stuff. So it's just kind of well, whatever. So it's just one of those things where I kind of realized that it's a young person's game, whatever.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, mine was pretty small. Most of my family's actually was. Yeah, all my brother and sister and mine were small. Just because our family's so big, it'd be we were going to have a big one, me and Jen, but my mother was dying, so we rushed it up in a year. But the list we were looking at was 250, and that was just family and a couple of her friends. Yeah. But we ended up doing it small, just the uncles, the extended family and the uncles, yeah. But it's quite expensive nowadays. I was talking to my cousin about his a couple years ago, and it's gotten quite expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I just, like I said, at some point I kind of just switched into I'm the surrounding family type person that's there.
Again, I come from a big family, so it's not, we're all talking to each other 5 or 10 minutes at a time. It's, it's just so many of us. So
yeah.
We never really had that issue. I understand what you're saying, but yeah.
And again, not a bad thing.
No.
It's different, as they say.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's why we didn't have one last week. Apologize. It was kind of last minute because the way the plane tickets worked, we actually had to save close to $250, $300 a ticket. We drove to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is a 3-hour drive to fly out of their small little airport, and it saved us a ton of money. So, which I knew I was going to have to leave I wasn't going to get a lot of sleep, and I was going to have to leave. And then the fly back was worse though, because we had to leave at like the plane left at like 6:30 in the morning. So you'll get to the airport at 4:30 or 5 or whatever. And then, then you finally land. Then, hey, another 3-hour drive. It was just, it wasn't the best. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Well, you're lucky enough that you've been able to fly.
Yeah.
Think about that. Your mother's generation, probably 10% of the people flew. Yeah, maybe a little more. Your mother was not that quite that old. But. When we went on the cruise, that was the first time I flew since I think it was 98. Yeah. It was before 9/11. I think it was 98. Yeah, I went out to fly out to get my brother and drive back from Kansas. And it changed so much. Like when I went in 98, it was pretty much a joke. Like I took a guitar with me, and the only thing they were worried about was me loosening up the string so it didn't snap, basically, with the compression. Yeah. But this time I went through, and it's like I just stand in this machine, that image, the 360 image of me, it was quite a different experience. Sit in the airport for much longer than before. Yeah. But I guess it's the times. Oh, like I was telling, there's a school around the corner for the deaf and kids that have learning disabilities. So I was going to volunteer, go over once a week, play some games with them or whatever. And I looked online, and they basically want me to get bonded through the state of Delaware to volunteer at this school. And I was talking to my neighbor, and he's like, yeah, even when we go on like field trips and all, they do basically the same thing. I was like, yeah, I'm amazed that the world's come to that. I mean, it's a good thing, but I'm just amazed the world's come to that. Yeah. There's Scotty.
What up, guys?
Hello.
How was your Vegas vacation?
Well, I mean, it was good. I mean, I hadn't been to Vegas. I was like,
what was that movie?
The Griswolds.
Vegas Vacation. Yeah, the Griswolds. So I was the weird thing about that was I was sitting there and I was like, I was trying to remember the last time I was in Vegas, because I hadn't been to Gamma when it was in Vegas. I was at Gamma when it was in Reno. And now, like, so I was sitting there, I was like, the last time that I was in Vegas was like 5 years ago when I was at TMG, and Gamma was still being held in Las Vegas, because I stayed at my brother's house and just like slept on his couch and then just, went back and forth from there to do that. But
was that the year that when we went to what's that restaurant?
I don't know.
It was in Paris. Not Paris.
Paris.
Paris?
They call it Paris. I can't remember what they call it. I think they just call it Paris. With Gordon Ramsay. It was the Gordon Ramsay restaurant, which is awesome. I would like to go back there someday.
I sound like my sister and wife planning vacations around food.
What else is there, man?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So I went, was
that the year? Was that the year? The last year you went?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
When you met my buddy Mike.
That's right.
Mike Langlois.
Yes, super nice.
You had dinner with Mike Langlois, and
I'd like to hang out with him again. He was super nice. I actually thought about him.
He's the best. He's in my game group.
You should make him come to BGG Con this year.
He normally does, but he rolls with a different group. He rolls with Christian Leonard. Did you eat dinner with him and Christian? I can't remember. I feel like. Oh no, maybe. Yeah, who was the other guy? I'm trying to remember. Cannot recall. Yeah, that was like the last Fun Gamma. I mean, the Reno one was okay, but it feels like Reno was like trying to be Vegas, but not like it's got the prices and like the glitz and glamour of Vegas, but like nothing really good.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a Vegas snob when it comes to like there's all these fake Vegases, right? Like Reno is fake. It tries to be. I mean, I get what it's trying to do, but it can't because it just doesn't have the
Horse.
I mean, I feel like it's getting the money. There's a lot of people. What'd you say?
It doesn't have the horse.
Not out in the open.
It just doesn't have the same stuff. It's definitely like a copycat. And so is Toronto. Like I went to this I think we've talked about this, where I went to a Toronto casino, which, oh my gosh, totally felt like Vegas until they started charging me for the $20 for the drinks. I was like, huh? Why?
Nothing is cheap in Vegas anymore.
Well, you get free drinks if you gamble. No?
That's true.
That's like the minimum, in my opinion. A drink, like a single one.
I remember when like I ran into, it was weird. We were sitting at the check-in at the hotel, and my wife says, "Is that your sister?" And I look over, and like 4 people in front of us was my sister and my brother-in-law. And we were like, "What the heck?" And then like people in between us were kind enough to let us come up, and so we just kind of were waiting in line to check in. And they're like, "Let's check in and let's go," because there's like kind of like this thing called the district in the resorts world where you can go and find food. And they're like, "Let's go grab food." And I was like, "All right, that's cool." And so we went up, checked in, got situated a little bit, and we headed down. And I walked over, and my brother-in-law is like, there's a bar, and then there's all these different places you can get food. And I watch him as he goes over to a fridge off to the side, opens it up, takes out a bottle of Guinness, walks it over to the bar. They have him hold it while they pop the thing. $11.
$11 bottle of Guinness.
I was just like, and I was gonna order a beer, and I was like, I'm out, and I was like, yeah, no, that's not happening.
Yeah, anything at the bar. Yeah, I've had drinks at the bar where it's like $20 for like a cocktail.
And so
I don't care about it that much.
We ate our food, and I just got a bottle of water for like $3. And went and got like some really good Asian food. Actually, it was just whatever it was good. And then
where is this?
Just the place called the District. It's like
the District.
It's called, if you Google Las Vegas, the District, it's like basically a bunch of different places where you can shop and eat and do all kinds of things. And it's right next, and then like you walk 20 feet, you can go gamble. So then my younger brother, Pete, came over, and he was just like, "Hey, what's up? We're going to eat or whatever." And I was just like, "Yeah, we kind of ate and did whatever." And he's just like, "Yeah, I'm heading over." He said, "Yeah, I'm heading over to there's a Walgreens across the street. If you go, I'm heading over there to get some alcohol." And I was like, "Cool." And I went with him, and I bought a 6-pack of Guinness for $11 at the Walgreens.
But it's interesting. I've had Guinness in the bottles are not good, but those the cans with the little nitro,
the can with the water
are okay.
Yeah,
they're better.
The widget in there, whatever it is. Yeah, those are okay.
Anyway, no. So that was like, we must have gone to the Walgreens forever. And then right next to the Walgreens was this place called Taco El Gordo, which I'd been to, like I've heard of before. And everybody was like, "Oh, the tacos there are just freaking amazing." And they were. We went in, and you kind of like go through this weird line that you go up, and then they make your tacos with all fresh ingredients right in front of you. Like they actually like make the tortillas in front of you, and they fry up all the meat and all the vegetables and everything in front of you, and then they put it all in a tray, and then you just kind of meander your way back over to this spot where there's somebody there taking money, and they're like, they just look at your tray and they're like, like I got like 4 tacos and a tostada and a vampiro, which is like a weird tostada with some extra spice on it or whatever. And like the lady looked at it and she's like, $26. It's like, okay, done.
Yeah. Sounds like
But
Disney.
yes, if you ever get a chance to go to Tacos El Gordo,
it's in Vegas.
It's in Vegas. It is
on the Strip.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's like next to this Walgreens. It's weird. It's like on the very end of the Strip by Circus.
Yeah, I see it. It's Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah. But
does it have like a logo with a guy?
Yeah. But highly recommended. Very extremely tasty. Get the carne. Yep, that's it. Get
there's people standing there.
Yeah. Yeah, get the carne asada vampiro. What does
it mean, vampiro?
I don't know. It's like a vampire.
Blood?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Blood? It's like kind of like a tostada, but there's like a
pastor.
There's a
the way it should be.
It's like kind of like a pastor actually, but then after they put all the steak and all the seasoning, they put this they put a hard shelled like fried tostada on top of it that has like some spice to it, and it's really, really good. Fantastic. I mean, the tacos are great too. I mean, they were just like everything on the tacos, like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And like they had fresh made guacamole on them and all this other stuff. It just
vampiro.
Yeah, it was super good.
What does that mean?
And they were like, do you want any extra peppers? You want any it's like, you want any extra peppers? You want any extra this? Want extra that? And I was like, sure. And they just gave me a big plate of it. Yeah.
It's making me hungry, man.
Yeah, no. I mean,
I've been on the diet 3 months now, or since the hospital, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. Not fun. I mean, whatever. I got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I've just been focusing.
Eat to live. Eat to live. That's my motto. Eat to live, not live to eat.
Just eat less, and walk around more. I think I'm up to 50 pounds lost now. So just like one of those things where it was like, making, and like making sure like when you eat, you don't eat the entire bag of Doritos,
or not eat the Doritos in the first place.
Well, the thing is that if you watch your calories, I don't know how to start down this path, but you watch your calories, you should be good. You just watch it, and like the biggest thing for me was stop drinking. I don't drink.
Did you drink sweetened sodas?
Well, so the thing is that now I only drink diet sodas or like 0-calorie energy drinks.
Yeah, that's a lot of calories that you can just eliminate.
Yeah.
Man, I want a pastor taco. There was this place in Dallas called Taco Diner. I think I took you there once, right?
Yeah, you did. That place was amazing.
Oh my god, Taco Diner was the bomb. It's no longer the bomb. They've changed all their tacos, and I'm like, I feel like it's lowest. I feel like it is catering to the lowest common denominator.
I can see that.
I mean, which is fine. It's a restaurant. You got to make money. You got to survive. But man, they remove all the, they remove a mole taco. They remove their mole. They remove their pastor. They removed what else? They removed. They're super hot. They had this really super hot ground pepper, which I never knew what it was called, but it was basically like a relish made with jalapeno. Like, when like a relish, well, it looks like a relish, but it's like pure jalapeno and it's hot as blazes. And the flavor was amazing. It was like, that was That was my go-to. 3 pastors with that side of relish. Oof, it's good stuff.
Food's good, man.
And 2 mambo taxis. Taxis. 3's the limit.
Yeah, food's good. Yeah, and anyway. I was waiting for Matt to show up. You saw, because I got a heck of a grievance that I want.
Is he coming?
He usually shows up.
Oh,
I have just a there he is. Now I can share my grievance, my grievance of the ages. Well, it actually isn't. It's just me being super upset about stuff.
What's up, Matt?
Matthew.
How's your things?
Good.
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 I don't know if you saw, but the logo has been integrated into the game night videos.
Yeah, I did. I was looking at it today.
It's a good logo. It's a good looking logo.
Yeah, I thought that was new.
It's more fun, I think. I mean, the old one was fun, but the old one was like, of the time.
Yeah, ahead of time. Yeah,
it was 10 years ago. I mean, can you believe it's been 10 years?
Yeah.
10
years for what?
Episodes.
Game night.
Since game night started.
Oh yeah.
10. How many episodes have we done?
A lot.
7.
Lincoln deserves a raise.
More like 700.
More like shut it.
700. I got to toot my own horn because nobody else does. It ain't no tabletop. Or what was the name of that show? Was it Tabletop? Was it what was that show?
With Will Wheaton?
Yeah.
Yeah, tabletop.
Yeah, tabletop.
Tabletop. But we did a lot more episodes. Did I ever tell you guys about the time when I heard about Tabletop?
No.
So I basically like threw a drink across the room. I was like, because I wanted to make this show. I wanted to make that show for a long time. Because I was like, there needs to be a show that just plays the board game. Like no one had done it. Everybody was doing like, nobody was doing any playthroughs. I can't remember. I don't think there was any playthroughs.
There's still a market for it if you want to do it.
Yeah, if you can find a celebrity that can do it. And
I think Will Wheaton would probably do it.
No, he wouldn't. I don't want to work.
Nah,
I think those days. I tried. I think I told you I tried to work with them.
Yeah, you did.
They called me. So 6 months after the show started, I was like, okay, it's awesome. I want exactly what I wanted it to be. Although I wanted full playthroughs, and they eventually released full playthroughs. I don't know if you do. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They used to release the full unedited gameplays, and well, whatever. They called me and said, "Hey, do you want to go to South by Southwest with Tabletop, and like we'll partner up and do a booth together?" I'm like, "Yes, done." And then of course all the work came on to me. I had to, get the booth, get all the furniture. We drove a van full of furniture. We went down there. I had to get the rooms, and we met up with Bo, the producer. And we're like, okay, is Will Wheaton coming? Is
Alicia?
Yeah, sorry, Alicia. Was it Alicia? What's her
Felicia Day.
Felicia Day. Yeah. Sorry, I was drawing a blank on the name. I was like, are they coming? No, they're not coming. Like, what? Okay. Well, what's that? What is Tabletop then without the actual people who make it? Oh, we're just going to promote it with flyers, handouts and stuff. And they had pins, and they had this huge poster that took up 3/4 of the booth. And I'm like, the Board Game Geek poster was like, man, a little tiny poster, way a little poster over there. And so people would come by and they'd be like, we love it. We love your show. And I'm like, talk to that guy. So it was kind of a stinging feeling at the end of it. And I was just like, I did a lot of work. And we brought all the games. We played games with people. We set them out and we started playing games. And we had like people. The thing that sucked at the South by Southwest, it was a free, it's the only free thing in South by Southwest, the games pavilion. Although there's silver linings here. People brought their kids and just dropped them off the booth
No.
and left. Yes, some kid was left in the booth for hours, and Lincoln was like, "I don't know what to do. I can't really just stop. Like, I feel too responsible to let this kid just leave."
If only the parents felt that way.
Yeah, really.
The fucking father left and came back hours later. It was hours. We played a bunch of games with him and stuff, but whatever. I mean, but that's stupid. Like, that was like irresponsible.
Some fucking
And then there was tons of kids.
It's not a ballroom for crying out loud.
It was a lot of kids. There was a lot of kids. And then eventually I started taking the games down that were like attractive to kids. Like, because we brought tumbling dice. And kids would just jam the dice like as hard as they could and be like, okay, well, let's just take it down. Like, stop. Okay, so that's the bad part. That sucked. I mean, it was fun. Like, I had a fun time. Silver lining was I got to meet the owner of Mayfair, Pete, or one of the owners. I don't know if he was an owner, if he was a manager, an executive, and hung out with him quite a lot and got to get to know him pretty well, and that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
That was the silver lining. Met Pete.
There's always one, Scott.
I'm not sure why I don't remember his last name. It's
Peter
been
Shirey?
20 years.
Because you're getting old.
Yeah, I mean, time is just flying by. It's not been 20 years. It's been like 15 years. Pete Fenlon. And we hung out with those guys for a while and talked to them and stuff. Got to know all of them. Got to know his wife. Talked a lot about Mayfair and stuff, and pretty fun. But yeah, kind of felt like taken advantage of.
From what I gathered, that was kind of his MO. That Bo guy.
I don't know.
I've heard from a couple different people that,
I don't know what to say, honestly.
Yeah.
But he worked his fucking ass off that weekend. Like, he constantly handed out paper. He did. So they scheduled tabletop talks, right? Thinking it was going to be Felicia Day.
Right.
But he did it in their stead, right? He did it instead of them. So he pulled the line. I mean, he did the work.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I feel like that was a weird. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, don't know the behind the scenes stuff, but from what I saw, was just like a guy who worked really hard to make the show happen, and when the stars didn't show up to the actual event that was promoted by the South by Southwest, like, what? I don't know.
Oh, they were supposed to be there?
I don't know. I thought they were supposed to be there. I thought Felicia was supposed to be there.
Was there not a contract?
Oh, I don't know. But the pack, not I see PAX. It was South by Southwest.
Mhm.
Did I say PAX at some point?
No.
I feel like,
you said
I, feel like I
South by
switched it.
Southwest.
It's always been South by.
Yeah.
So I'm losing my brain. That guy wanted BGG at the show. Like, he went. I got one of those platinum passes and everything, and it was pretty cool. Anyway. So, but I don't know. But and then Bo called me about the tabletop thing, and I was like, yes, let's just do it. What do I need to do? Figure it out, make it happen. And we did. Never been back. I mean, it's just so much work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess if you want to promote a company, I guess it sort of makes sense. But it being free to the public means you're just going to get all the kids from the whole city there, because it's something to do. It's a game center. There's a ton of games. Mayfair was there, and we were there, and I feel like Steve Jackson. Oh, Steve Jackson Games was there. Also met one of the Steve Jackson Games employees. That I think his name was Randy. I don't know. Randy sounds.
Was he?
Yeah. Anyway, history lesson.
Steve Jackson pulled out of Gen Con.
What?
Oh, did he?
Really? Why?
Did they actually?
I wonder why. I feel like they've been there forever.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
One of my-
the
one of
first
my
con I
goals-
ever went to, I had to go buy a Steve Jackson game to actually just have a game at the con. Like I didn't know we had to bring anything. This is my very first con. This was like in the 90s, like 90 and 94 or 5, something like that. One of my friends was like, "Do you want to go to this convention? It's down in it was OwlCon, I think." Anybody know OwlCon?
No.
And he was like, "I'm gonna go play." He really liked playing. It's a minis game that was sort of a Warhammer style game. It wasn't Warhammer, but it was like Warhammer.
Mhm.
It was a D10. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll just go hang out. I went there. Bring a game to that convention because they didn't have any games to check. There was no games to check out. There was nothing going. I'm like, you had to pay to get into the vendor room, and I'm like, I don't really want to pay. Or I think I paid. I think I paid for one day of vendor room to go in and just buy a game. And then like I had lunch money with me, so it was lunch money is the game I bought with the Steve Jackson game, and that's all I played all weekend. And Illuminati. I bought Illuminati and lunch money. You guys remember those games?
I remember Illuminati. I've heard of Lunch Money, but I didn't play it.
Nope.
That was a couple decades before I was in the hobby anyway.
That's what I was like. Game conventions suck. It wasn't until 10 years later when I went to a different convention that actually was the Gathering of Friends with Alan Moon. And I was like, wow, this convention's amazing. It changed my
That's a
life.
pretty different convention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, and that's how I
I wouldn't
modeled
even call it a
BGG.
convention.
Yeah. But I didn't know
Yeah.
because I had never been to a game convention.
I'll
Like,
probably
I
go
went
to
to that
one
one
either.
down in Houston. I think it was Houston. Was it Houston? I don't know. I don't even remember where it was. Might be College Station.
I remember if Origins or Unpub was my first con. It's one of them two.
My first was Gen Con 50th.
I've never been to.
Yeah, it was a good year.
It was a
It was a
lot.
year. It was a lot of people.
lot. I had to squirrel.
I got
myself
insulted
away
by the
a little
guy
bit.
sitting next to me on the plane.
Did you?
Did you?
Oh yeah, he told me what he really felt about BGG and how shitty it was.
Did he know who you were?
I don't know. I think so.
Not like, do you know who I am? But like, did he know?
No, I
who
didn't.
you
I
were?
didn't. I stopped talking to him after that. I was like, oh, okay. He goes, what do you say? He goes, I thought about starting a competing website because of how shitty Board Game Geek is. I'm like, okay. Is that how you? Yeah, I guess he didn't really realize who I was. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Or maybe he is that much of an asshole.
Now I'm going to
Hey,
say
good luck.
I'm going to say he didn't realize.
I basically just said, okay, not talking to you anymore. Because it's fun to talk to someone on. I mean, it was gamers on the plane, because it was all going out to Gen Con, and somehow I got seated next to him.
That sucks.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
All right. Can I do my rant now?
Let me hear it.
If you must.
Come on. Oh.
Oh, I must.
And he will.
Oh no. So I would like to say this. I would like to say that Drive Through RPG remains like some of the best customer service that I've ever dealt with ever. Like if you get a book from them and it's like damaged, like they'll say send us a picture of the damage, and like you're like, oh yeah, because like the cover's got a giant ding in it or something like that, and then they're just like, yeah, we'll order you another one. It's like, do you want the other book back? No, just they say give it to a friend, throw it away, donate it, do whatever you want with it. I mean, just recently I had an order where I got like back something on Kickstarter, so then they said they send you the links
To buy
to buy an at cost printing of the book. And so like I got my link for the PDF and for the at cost printing of the book. And so I was like, cool. And so for like this, giant, like 300-page book, I was going to pay $13. I was like, that's neat. I mean, I I mean, I pledged on the Kickstarter, so it didn't cost $13, but $13 plus media mail shipping, which is like $7, whatever. So I bought them. I didn't, and this is partially probably my fault, but I remember I added the stuff to the cart, paid for it, just whatever. It's going to cost me 20 some bucks to deliver this, whatever. And I just happened to be glancing at it, my email, and I was like, what the, I was like, $110. What the hell? I went back and they didn't process the coupon correctly. And I was like, well, this is going to be annoying. I'm going to have to email them, wait to hear back, get this, email them. Like, look, I should have been charged $13. You charged me 110. You charged me $35 for the PDF. You charged me $65 for the book. Just give me my 91 whatever dollars back and move on. Yeah, email them, and usually it's like, oh, we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Like 45 minutes later, sorry, refunded. It's like, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, so I've always said, drive through, they take care of you. They do right by people. That's probably, I mean, they obviously
wasn't that a James Matthew business?
It was.
Did he start the business, or did
he started it and sold it, I think, at some point. I remember it was just like, we had a conversation about it one night. We were talking about it when he had called me up. We were talking board games one evening. His phone number is still in my phone. I saw it the other day when I was slipping through my thing. I had a moment of, oh.
You better hope it never calls you. That scared the shit out of me once.
Yeah.
After my mother died, my father-in-law had her phone, and it was in my phone as her phone instead of his. And he called me one day. It scared the fuck out of me.
Oh, yeah. Twilight's on S. Anyway, so here's my
oh no, it's not the rant.
No, here's my rant. So, like, a couple weeks ago, I mean, and I'm just gonna hold up. This is the card. I have to destroy it now. But a couple weeks ago, I just I forget. I don't even remember the reason why. Basically, when the only reason I have a checking account with Bank of the West is because having the checking account in Bank of the West reduces my mortgage that I have with them. Because when we refied the house 8 or 9 years ago, they gave us the best offer, and they were like, and if you have a
maintain an account,
if you retain an account, we'll give you an extra 0.25% off, which over the lifetime, that's not nothing. It's a lot of money. So agreed to it, and then the payment of the mortgage is drawn automatically out of that checking account. Yeah. And so twice a month when I get paid, I use Zelle to the automatic transfer of funds. I use Zelle to with no fee. It's pretty sweet. If you don't have Zelle, you should use Zelle.
Yeah, they have it on Bank of America, but I don't really use it.
Yeah, so twice a month, I just basically yank all the money that I don't need for that thing, and I put it in our main checking account. And so I'll leave a couple $100 in there, just whatever, but I mean, hardly ever use this card. I mean, I just don't. Yeah,
what is the card?
It's just a debit card. I don't use debit cards that often or whatever. It's one of those things. So I was sitting there and I just happened to log in. I think I was because I was getting paid, and I was like, oh, maybe I got paid today. I get paid tomorrow. I'm going to go in there. And I went in and I looked, and then there was like 7 of these weird transactions. And I was like, what is going on? And I was looking at it, and I was sitting there, and I was looking on my phone, and I was like, that's really weird. And I said, honey, I'm going to go check on something. And I went downstairs in front of my computer, and I pulled it up. And in the time it took me to leave my couch and walk downstairs, log into my computer, log into my account, 4 more of these transactions showed up. And they were all at some ATM in California. And I was like, okay, well, somebody RFID'd my card number or something, and they make the card, and then they managed, somehow, and I was like, they've got a hold of my PIN somehow. So there's a function on their website where you can click on the button that says, like stop my card, like basically stop my card. So no trans. So I hit that button. And then I called up the customer service. And right at this point, it wasn't even that bad. It was like there was like 2 transactions for like $10. There's one for $3, and there was like 7 or 8 for $1, like $9.99, $2.99, $1.99. And I was like, okay. So I called the customer service, and I was like, yeah, there's fraud on this. This is going. And I talked to this woman. She's like, okay. And she's like, well, I see you've, canceled, you've stopped the card. I was like, yeah, because I don't want people using it anymore. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, I said, I need you to cancel the card. I need to declare these things as fraud, just go through this process. And I've done it before, and it's a pain in the ass, but it's like, whatever, I'm not going to do this. And so they were like, yeah, we'll take care of this for you. It's like, sweet, awesome, thanks. Now, remember, this is the same card that, like, when I was at the bank, last time I had this conversation, the woman was like, we have another ATM that, was like, oh, I can use that one. No, you can't. This is only for employees. Yeah. And then they were like, we'll send you out a new card. And I was like, cool. Cause she said, your card's really beaten up. You want a new one? And I was like, sure, why not? And so then I mentioned that to them. I was like, yeah. So, and they're like, oh yeah. Well, she's like, oh, that one looks like that one's already been sent. So you'll just have to cut that one up when you get it. And I was like, whatever, fine. And she's like, all right, well, so we'll go ahead and cancel this. You'll get a new card within 10 days. And I was like, do you need it's like, if you have any issues, you can go to your bank branch, you can get cash if you need it. I was like, no, like I said, I barely use this card. So that's why I was like, why I could see stuff was going weird on it. She's like, cool. And I was like, all right. So, and then she was like, oh, well, we'll mail you your fraud affidavit that you have to fill out and send back to us. Then we'll start your fraud case. And I was like, I was like, I've done this before. Can't I just go into a branch and have it faxed in? And she's like, well, you can, but we don't recommend it. And I was like, well, why? And she was like, oh, well, because we like to handle everything on our end. And I was like, well, but isn't it faster for me if I have them fax it? Doesn't it work faster? And she's like, well, yeah. And I was like, so why wouldn't you want that to be faster for me as the customer? So there's like less. And she's like, well, we just like it if it's all handled on our end of customer service, because then we get credit for it. And I was like, well, I don't even know why you're telling me this, but I was just like, yeah, I'm going to be faxing it in. And she's like, well, the fax number's on the piece of paper. I was like, perfect, whatever, done. So the next day I was like, oh, okay, well, I might as well just start writing this stuff down. I had a little time. I pulled my thing. There's like another 120 transactions pending fraudulent activity on the thing. And I was like, what the blessed God in heaven? I was like, what is going on? So I call customer service again. And I was just like, and they were like, yeah, can I help you? I was like, yeah, yesterday I called in and I said there was like 6 transactions that were screwed up on there. And they said we canceled out the account and you're good to go. And I called that. Now I said there's like another 100 and there was 100 and I think after I counted out there was 156.
How is that possible?
And that's exactly it. I was like, how is this possible? If I called in, did you see that I called in last night? And the person's like, yeah. And I was like, did you see it? And I was like, I was livid. I mean, I was pissed because
how much was withdrawn?
Hundreds of dollars to the point and the thing was I had just gotten paid, thankfully. So I hadn't got any NSF fees or anything like that. So because I just gotten paid, but it was like a huge chunk of my paycheck was just gone because they were authorizing all these transactions. I was like, I called in last night. And she's like, well, yeah, you called in. But she was like, they were like, these were on the 17th of June. And I was like, and when did I call? The 16th of June. Right. So I was like, so these transactions went through after I called you guys. And then there was this can I put you on hold for a moment? I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then it was
like the Microsoft person. Can I put you on hold?
So I was on hold for enough time that I heard the complete loop of the hold music. Like when you hear the loop and then it stopped, it trails off and there's that second or two. And then the whole music comes back. And so you listen to it. I listened to 2 run-throughs of the whole music. And then they came back.
Awesome.
And I was sitting there, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, so sir, it looks like what happened is that your card was only mostly shut down. And I was like, what does that even
Mostly
mean?
dead.
It's just like, well,
who are you dealing with, Matt?
Don't ever put
they were
money.
like, they were like,
Miracle
well,
Max was on the phone with you.
it's just like, I was like, what does that even mean? Mostly, I called you to cancel the card. I called you to, like, because I caught it, I saw it, I called you, I turned it off, and no more transactions are going through. Then you went and did something. I was like, your company went and did something, and all of a sudden they have hundreds of dollars of my money that is gone. And they were just like, well, since they were at an ATM and they were using a PIN, they were able to get the transactions to
Makes
go
no
through.
sense.
And I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, you canceled the card. You mean, like, you said it so no more transactions can go through. It shouldn't matter what they have, like
Crazy.
and they were just like, well, it only happens in, like, maybe, like, they were like 6 to 7% of fraud cases this happens. So it doesn't really happen that often. And I was like, so, I mean, I was like, these have been going on all night. I was like, are they still gonna go on? And they were like, no, we shut down the whole PIN access to it now, so no more transactions can go through. And I said, well, why didn't you do that last night when I called in? And like, well, like I said, she's like, only like 4 or 5% of cases this happens, so it's really, we just don't. And I was like, well, which one is it? Is it 4 to 5 or 6 to 7? I was like, and she's like, well, I mean, it's actually more like 3 or maybe 4% of time. I was like, this is absolutely stupid. I was like, you're my bank, you have my money, I trust you with access to my money. Why wouldn't you just shut it down, like the whole thing? Why wouldn't you just completely shut it down and make it so no trade? Because then, I mean, like, if I open a fraud case, it's actually, they're taking money from you, so why wouldn't you do it? And she's just like, well, I don't know. And I was like, I need to talk to a supervisor or something. I mean, I'm done. I mean, like, you seem to like, and she's like, oh, hold please. And then again on hold forever. And like this one came on, and she was just like, so she's like, I understand that you had a situation. I was like, yeah, I went through the whole story again. And all of a sudden she's like, well, this only happens in like 1 or 2% of the cases.
Tomorrow be
Should be 0%.
And I was just like, and I just said,
Can you imagine if,
why?
like, okay, I'm calling my American Express account, which, by the way, has no limit. The American Express cards have no limit.
Yeah.
And say, oh, my card's been corrupted. Shut it down. They'll shut it down. Like, because they're on the hook for,
Yeah.
who knows how much it could be. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars it could be.
And I was just
What
like,
they could get away with.
and I just said, this is absolutely ridiculous. I said, this happened. I was like, why wouldn't you just shut down my card? Like I had to ask extra special for you to do the extra steps to process this. And they're just like, well, it's only if they somehow have access to the PIN. And I was like, okay, so obviously somebody like somehow got a hold of my PIN through like whatever, like I'm like with like having an RFD scanner, and I had the thing out, or who knows how. I was like, because
You know what it probably was? It's probably that ATM machine that skimmed you.
Yeah.
Well,
One in Columbus.
Well, probably. I mean,
Probably.
well, no, I didn't use an ATM in Columbus.
Oh, I thought you used an ATM.
No, I don't.
It's that
I
whole
mean,
deal.
I will not. I mean, I'm kind of like, my wife thinks I'm crazy, but I will not withdraw money from an ATM that isn't my bank's ATM. Like, because I will not pay a fee. I'm not going to pay you $2 so I can get $100 of my money. I think that's just absolutely ridiculous. But
The same way.
so, and then I heard that, like, and I but they said, they were like, and I know in fraud cases it's almost impossible to find out when they did it, right? Maybe at some point, like I went to a gas station
Plus, they don't
and
care.
I paid at the pump. I paid at the pump, and somebody had put a little tracker in there, and then they went back. And
stickers are real easy to install now, apparently.
yeah, and then they
Yeah.
collected the information, and then they delivered it to somebody in California, where all the transactions were going through at an ATM in California. I was like, I've never been to California. I'm in Minnesota. I'm in Minnesota
No, they
holding
sell
my
that
card.
stuff. They sell that stuff in Cologne and not. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Here's the stupid thing. This is solved. This is a solved problem in Europe. Pin and chip.
Yeah.
By the way, we have chips. No pin in Canada.
Yeah. So I remember just sitting there and I was just like, I have the card in my hand. I said, I'm looking at it right now. And these transactions are going through in California. Why wouldn't have somebody realized that maybe we should just, and I was like, why wouldn't you? I was like, I was asking the supervisor, it's like, why don't your customer service people, your people that work in fraud, like have the ability to completely shut down? Why isn't that part of their process to like completely shut down the card? Why? And it's like, well, it's an extra few steps and it is time sensitive. You know, I was like this, and then I was just like, look, this is absolutely stupid. And I finally just, I said, I'm laying down the gauntlet. I said, you make tons of money off of my mortgage and interest. You've completely and utterly failed me as a bank.
I'm
Because
switching my bank.
I was just like,
I'm switching my mortgages. What's the payoff?
What are you going to do to make it so like I don't start actively searching for someplace else to take my loan? And then she was just like, and then well, I'll come into work tomorrow and I'll email you the affidavit, and then we can fill it out, and then you can email it back to me, and then I'll get the ball rolling right away. And I was just like, done.
That's funny.
What time tomorrow will you be calling? She's like, what time is good for you?
Did they offer a toaster?
No, but I mean,
And-
but I was absolutely flabbergasted. It was like,
Remember that?
well, yeah, it's only like 6 or 7%. It's actually no 4 or 5%. It's like 1 or 2% of the. I was like, just
the not. It should be zero.
it should be zero.
Like, as soon as you report a fraudulent, whatever. It's so dumb.
And I know it's ridiculous, but like one of the things that I do when I go to conventions is that like, and I know it's more dangerous to like carry cash, but I don't like using my cards outside of where I normally do. I don't,
Yeah,
especially at conventions,
Especially with no chip and pin.
Yeah, and because
Like,
you know
it's
there's
so dumb.
people. Yeah,
I
exactly.
do have a chip.
They have these contactless chips now. Have you got those yet?
Yeah. I know. It's just like because
I've had it for like 5 years.
I know, but it's
That's-
America. It's America. We're backwards.
But we have literally hundreds of millions of more people than you. So I mean,
And it's a huge problem. It should be automatically. It should be done. Like we should be switching to this thing, and like everybody just switch to it and be done.
I remember when I was working when I was still work for US Bank, I remember they were like talking about how they're like, oh, there was like meetings of people talking in card issuance where they were talking about how expensive it was going to be to implement chip technology.
What's more expensive, the losses?
Well, it's the old Fight Club thing. You know, it's like, you know, somebody figures out, okay, we're going to lose X amount of money in fraud if we don't do this, and how much, you know, and like how much money will it cost us to do it? You know, it's like, well, when those two things swap sides, that's when we'll start. And then I remember, if I might be remembering incorrectly, my wife could probably, you know, like correct me if she was listening to me right now, but I think one of the things is that their hand got forced because like Europe said, gotta have a chip. You no longer are allowed to have cards here that don't have chips or something like basically like they were just so like credit cards that are issued, like if you're ever going to travel in Europe, well, they're not going to work in Europe anymore unless they have a chip or something like that.
And pin.
Yeah.
The thing is, so
American cards don't have pin. Anyway, go ahead, Matt.
we have tap here, right?
Yeah.
And I have my tap set to $100 max.
Okay.
So, but the thing that drives me nuts is my corporate debit card doesn't have tap on it. For TD, they don't do that apparently. So I have to use my PIN every single time. It's a pain in the ass.
See, I have to
Just if
get
you're
it.
at a drive-through and they stick the thing out, and you're like, "Sorry, I'm gonna have to take it from you now," instead of just, you know, because they have it attached to a hockey stick or something, right? And it's like, I'm joking. It's like a.
I know.
It's a vacuum. Yeah.
I like the fact that it's a hockey stick in Canada.
But
See, man, I have TD here. I have the chip, but I could bypass the pin. I don't have to do both. I could bypass
Exactly.
the pin.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
No, the pin is basically
You
like,
can,
yeah.
so
the combination of the two is like almost unbreakable.
we stick ours into the machine.
Yeah.
And it says like, ask you all the questions.
We still talking about your card or? Sorry.
We stick our debit card in the machine and it asks you all the questions. And it's like, okay, enter your what account, and then put your PIN in, and then you're done.
And 15.
Pardon?
Nothing.
6969.
1,
Nice.
2, 3, 4.
I'm 15.
My luggage.
I'm 15 again.
1, 2, 3,
3.
4.
My password is password 111.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I was trying to sign up for somebody on Facebook asked what people use for paying contractors and receiving money from people and stuff like that. And
Transfer.
Gavin Brown said that he uses this thing called OFX, which is like a money transfer thing and wire transfer. I've had really hard times getting wire transfers to work.
Interesting.
Pain in the ass. I do.
They
too.
are. So I pay one of my people in Sweden with wire transfers. I end up just using my credit card at wise.com because it's
easier.
Yeah, I went through a bunch of wise crap and it bounced me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't use this anymore because it basically delays you days, and they're like,
mhm.
we can't take the card, we can't take the money, and they send the money back, and I'm like, wait, great. So now I have to figure out another.
So I was on the
way.
hook for it. I'm like, what the fuck? So
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to sign up for this OFX account.
What is it? OFX?
Pardon?
OFX?
Yeah, I think it's Canadian. So anyways, so because Gavin's in Canada too. Gavin's in Calgary. So
yeah.
so I
What's the deal with the company name is with numbers?
What's the deal with? Sorry.
pardon?
Like, is every company name in Canada have a number?
So we all have numbered like you can here's the
You have
deal.
a name, but you also have a number.
Well, here's the deal. If you don't want to perform the name search and do all the protections and all that shit, you just get a note. Like mine's 2421442 Ontario Inc.
Sweet. Yeah, I was wondering because I paid Gavin once for a thing because we do their the Geek Up bits for that company for
Right.
the Dice Throne. Dice Throne?
Yeah.
Is that the name of it? Yeah. And I wanted to pay him a royalty. And didn't realize the company name was a number.
Well, I also have an operating name that I've registered, which is
Got it.
Matt Paquette Co.
Got
And
it.
still
So-
all your business names.
What a horrible name.
Horrible.
right?
What a uninspired. No, I'm just kidding.
I changed my logo actually, so I took my name out of it. So it's MPN Co now.
MPN, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so working with a German publisher, they tried to pay through all kinds of different means, and what ended up, we had to just do PayPal.
PayPal works like 99% of the time.
Yeah, and it
Yes,
worked.
they
A
also
lot-
take
a lot of companies
4%.
don't
That's
want-
why.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. It also takes 10% of.
But so anyway, so this OFX thing, I'm signing up for it, and all of a sudden it says, "Sorry, your email address is invalid." I'm like, "Oh, I must have mistyped it, or maybe I lost a, I dropped the @ symbol or the dot or whatever." Nope, that's my email address. So I'm like, maybe I used it was my dash lane, filled it in automatically. Sometimes they don't like that. You got to type it in by hand. Did that? Nope. What the fuck? So, and then I tried typing a different, because like I have my email address that I have at my domain is a catch-all. So anything that's not already registered to somebody else goes to me. Like jackass@mattpaquette.com goes to me.
Right. You have all domain.
Rightfully so. Pardon?
A catch-all.
You're
Yeah.
gonna get so many emails from me.
So many.
Jackass.
So I typed in hello@mattpaquette.com. No problem. Like, oh, I must have an account, but I don't remember making an account.
Oh.
So, anyways, long story short, I call the customer service, and they're like, "Yeah, sometimes our system just doesn't like certain domains, and it does that. Like what?
Right.
How is that a thing? I mean, I've never seen this. I have to go back.
Well, I was just gonna say, well, Evan, I see you
Yeah, what's
somehow
up?
scammed your way into doing one shift for me at Gen Con.
Full shift.
Well, what do you mean scammed my way?
I heard you were doing 4,
No.
and then it was 2, and now it's 1.
Why is me providing a service to you somehow a scam?
I don't know why. I mean, are you paying for the space of floor on the Airbnb?
I assume.
Oh, never mind then.
Should she
Is that the
trap,
exchange? You
motherfucker.
never
Never
hotel and you get.
You make a-
Evan's coming to Gen Con and he's
Yeah.
staying at the Gray Fox Airbnb and he's gracing me with his presence for one afternoon in the
Yeah, Shane said, "Hey, can you work a couple of shifts?" I was like, "I'm only there for a couple of days. How about I work one and maybe like help you spell some lunches or whatever?" And he was like, "Okay, cool." And then Lance was like, "I heard you were going to work 6 shifts." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Why he wanted you to do 6. I talked him down to 4.
How long is the shift? 2 hours?
4 hours.
4 hours? 24 hours shifts?
It's going to take me 12 hours flying there and back to go work.
I'm working 10 to 1 every day.
Where?
Well, yeah.
25th century.
Oh, really?
Well, we're doing the hot games room. We got.
Are they paying for your flight though? See,
Oh, I'll be
I'm
I'm
paying
paying.
for everything.
By the way, there's no
paying to
VIP
go.
tickets for the there's no VIP tickets, so I don't know how you might have to buy tickets.
For
I
what?
will-
I don't know
What do you mean there's no VIP tickets?
because we're not doing it because COVID. We got to go through all the ticket systems.
Well, Chad
What
better let
event are
me
you
in.
talking about?
Hot games room.
Chad will let me in if he knows what's good for him.
The hot
What
games
is
room.
that?
We run it at the Hyatt Regency. It's a,
Is-
a board game geek. It's a board game geek operated room where it's basically just all the games that we can pull
Chad,
together.
are you in the thing? Are you in out there? I'll reach out to him. Yeah, he needs to.
Well, if you want to don a jersey and pull a couple shifts, Lance, we'll let you.
I'm already working. Well, let me get this. I'm already working all the shifts for Gray Fox, along with my daughter, actually. So
As an
Oh,
employer.
really? Nice.
yes, I'm employed, and I'll be sitting there talking, chatting people up, and getting them to give me money.
Give me money.
Give me the money.
Is there something
know.
going on in Portland now? Right now?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just see this thing on my feed. If you live here, shut the fuck up. And it's like a map of Portland.
I don't know.
Maybe it's somebody who's like hates Portland's political leanings or something. I don't know.
What's the like about Portland?
Yeah, I mean, there's people like Evan there.
Right? Lame. Lame.
Lame indeed.
Yeah,
What's-
man.
Is it? Can I buy tickets to this event?
Yeah, they're for sale.
In
It's only
ticket-
$4 each. $4 for 2 hours. Yeah, just get tickets if you can. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's the easiest way. Because I'm not going to be there, and I can't just let you guys. I mean, I can let you guys in, but like everybody
were
there,
coming.
everybody there doesn't know who. You know what I mean?
I thought you were
Yeah.
coming.
Oh, is this for BGG?
I'm not coming.
No? I'll have to wait till
You're too
November.
cool for school, or what?
He said a while ago he wasn't
I-
going.
I feel like I'm still sort of recovering from my whole health thing.
You will be.
I mean, I went to BGG Con and it was fine, but like, I don't want to fly to. I mean, I'm not like
I don't want to fly somewhere and hang out with you people.
You talking about Dallas or Indiana?
Either one.
Any place you're at,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair. I am the worst.
you are the absolute worst.
I want to fly to a
Um,
con and then do my own thing while I'm there.
Yeah.
It's the
If
worst.
anybody cares, and they're going to be at Dice Tower Con, I will be at Dice Tower Con.
You don't care.
In Orlando.
Which one is that? East? Is that right?
Yeah.
The East, Dice Tower Con East.
when is
I'd
it?
like to go. I'd like to go to one of those at some point.
That's July 6th through the whatever the Sunday is.
So like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, it's soon.
Yeah, I fly out on the 5th, and yeah, 6th to the 10th is Dice Tower
Wow.
East.
Getting back into the community bets, huh?
Oh, I'm loving it. Da 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 da.
I'm loving it.
So pop by the old Gray Fox Games booth and say hello if you're
What's the
so
boot number?
inclined. I don't.
And if you show up on Thursday from 2 to 6, you'll have to deal with me.
You're only going to be in Indianapolis for two
What
days.
was that time again, Evan?
Like 2.5 days. Yeah. It's just a quick in and out, schedule some pitches, talk to some people, sling some Gray Fox games, fly back home.
Yeah, hopefully we'll after the Empire will finagle its way to our warehouse.
Yeah,
And then you'll be able to like sign copies for people. or
I know,
something.
right?
You got to go at a certain time?
Well, they're scheduling out the booth coverage.
No, this is the Hot Games room I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry.
It's open from noon till midnight.
Okay.
You
Sorry, Evan.
probably want the night times.
The night time is the right time.
So what? A ticket's a couple
Or
hours.
day.
Are the tickets available right now? I mean, are they?
There's
For
a
Dice
ton
Tower,
available.
Dice Tower, it's sold out.
No, BGG, Hot Games.
Oh, there's a ton.
Let me see. Let me, do you have that link that consolidates the Hot Games room stuff? Or the tickets?
I am a little bit concerned as like Dice Tower is, since it's in Florida, they will not be requiring masks.
Not
So
required. Well,
No, they are not.
those days are over, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I
not
guess
true.
there's-
Origins, it was. I was just in Origins, and it was required. You had to have
Was
it.
it? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gen Con is required.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like, and people are like, "When's Gen Con to change their mind about that?" I was like, "Hopefully, never."
They already said they weren't going. No matter what happens, they're not changing their mind.
You know, I don't know. Dice Tower Con. I mean, and this is sad, but Dice Tower Con is sold out, and yeah, and then but
I mean,
Gen
you
Con
can wear
isn't.
your mask.
Well, we both know.
I
the
wore my
mask-
mask the whole time.
Yeah.
I understand that. But I mean,
think
I don't want to turn this into a giant discussion about masks, but we both know that the whole mask thing is it's more so you're not infecting other people with your spit.
I think that that is not the case anymore. You
Oh,
should do some research. Yeah, you should wear a K95 the whole time. Not kidding. Not kidding.
You go and use your
I'm just gonna wear my old Navy cloth ones.
yeah. I'm just gonna wear a ripped bandana. It should be fine.
Cut a hole in the mouth so they can see your lips.
I do remember.
You need to
I-
say man.
I do remember seeing the guy at Origins who like had one of those welder mask things, not a real welder mask, but just the
face shield.
the glass face shield, and like they had adjusted it to the point so it was just like this, so it was like just a tunnel for their I was just like, yeah, that isn't doing anything.
Was there like a third party website that aggregated all the Gen Con events so you didn't have to use
Yeah,
them?
it's event here. I'll post it in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Just want to see what's available. I mean, I wouldn't charge you guys, but like I feel like this is like a minor thing, and well, basically
$4.
it will basically keep everybody happy at the whole.
What is it? 2 hour slots or 4?
If it was like a $50 ticket, I might say, "Hey, dude."
$2, 2 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah.
It looks like, there's only one left from Thursday from 8 to 10 for some reason. That's weird. 9 to 11 though is wide open. Friday, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I posted on.
There's only one ticket, 3 tickets on 8 to 10. So anyway, if anybody, yeah, Saturday night and Friday night, I would lock down tickets if you. I mean, here, I'm not going to be there, so I don't know what you guys. If you guys want to,
Yeah,
Lincoln
well,
will be there. Lincoln will be there. Candace will be there. Beth will be there. The whole team will be there
Candace.
mostly.
Chad will be running the room, right?
Chad and Doris.
Two great people.
I love
Chad-
that.
One
Chad in the
big
chat?
room.
I haven't seen him pop up yet, so maybe later, I suppose.
So for Gen Con, I wasn't sure what I wanted to work. Like I told Chad that I'm bringing one of my guys with me, and we're going to split the full-time position in half. So I worked it out so that I got off at 1 every day, and I posted on a couple of Facebook groups, the Gamma one and stuff like that, to see if any publishers wanted to meet with me. So I kind of published a link to my online calendar. They can like schedule a time and stuff like that. So far, only 2 people have taken me up on it.
And that's more than me.
I feel like that. I mean, I guess that is good, but I feel publishers don't have time to do that stuff there when they're there.
It's
You
just
know,
a meet and
that
greet.
kind-
Like
that kind of
honestly,
crazy.
It kind of is crazy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Gen Con's weird, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we would offer 15-minute time slots, and sometimes people don't even show up.
I did get a pretty awesome email from Ravensburger today, though.
Oh, nice.
Ravensburg, US.
For some work?
Potentially.
So are
Cool.
you
That's
are
awesome,
you
man.
so you're not having a booth, right? You're just having the hot games room.
Just the hot games room.
Hot games room.
Correct. We gave up the booth.
Whoop the booth.
5 years down the drain, or whatever it's been, 6 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Was it really worth it, Scott?
No.
Were any of the cons really
So
worth
much
it?
stress. It was like, basically the last year was like, I was on the verge of like, it was not great.
Yeah.
There was a
Well,
lot
you
of-
had like the kind of like the redesign and
Well, we did,
like,
and that was all great. And Beth did an amazing job and did it all. But then 16 boxes of T-shirts got shipped directly to the show because of who knows what happened. Yeah, it should have been sent to Dallas, and then from Dallas it just didn't happen. So we're
and
basically
that must have
dealing with-
cost you a couple bucks.
Yeah, the money there is like you're just washing money away.
Yeah.
You're
I
just-
mean, well, no, I mean that's a perfect example. Like
we had to basically go. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I mean like all of that stuff to ship anything to anywhere with like that fern and everything like that. That's just a giant mafia scam.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. We also had to rent a off booth hold. I forget what they call it, but you could basically store stuff there out of your booth.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like a giant cage. Have you guys ever run in one of those?
What?
Those aren't cheap. Yeah, if you want extra storage, you can just rent it on the show floor. It's not on the show floor, but it's like behind this, the back behind area. But it's locked.
Oh, I know what you're
Let's
talking about.
store
Yeah.
the 16 boxes of T-shirts. Like, okay, how are we gonna deal with all this? And we were like, okay, let's figure this out because we can't store them in the booth. I mean, I actually wish I had
Right.
pictures. It was just insane. And then we're the last people to take down the banner. The hung banner.
Yes.
Are you guys hanging banners?
No, I mean it's like
We were the
we're
last
already
ones. I mean, we were in there for hours, and it was
Wow.
hot. And you're
Yeah.
like, you can't leave. I couldn't leave because we're like, we got to finish packing and we got to get the banner in the thing. Sucked. I'm done. I'm just done.
Yeah.
I was excited to see
What's all the setup?
R.A. Salvatore as a guest.
Oh, was he there?
He's going to be.
He will be.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I
You
love
have
the
to wait in line
drip
for that, I'm
codes.
sure.
Yeah.
He did the Forgotten Realm stuff, right?
Yeah.
Can you do the Drizzt thing?
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I love that series.
Yeah.
I'm just rereading. So I'm going to be DMing they're doing a 5e campaign setting guide for Kryn for Dragonlance,
Are they? Oh, that's awesome.
and
I read like every single one of those novels, even the bad ones.
I'm just making my way through the Chronicles right now.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Again for like the 5th time, and I was gonna try and remap the 1st edition modules to 5th, and then I said, "Fuck it, I'm not doing that, guys.
Yeah.
If you want to play this right now, we're gonna play 1st edition."
Yeah.
Well, but you don't. But okay, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, and I'm not trying to say how you should run your thing. Most 1st edition stuff is really easy to transmogrify to 5th. You know,
Yeah.
it just
Transmogrify.
well, and the thing is it comes down to I don't know, just how comfortable you are in winging a lot of stuff. You know,
I haven't DM'd in probably 15 years.
Yeah.
well, I think you sent direct messages in the last like 2 or 3 at least.
Okay, I haven't dungeon mastered in.
Oh, well, that's not what that little club down. Never mind. No, it'll be fun though. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I hope so. And then I had a question though. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Do I let them play as the PCs, or do I get them to make their own characters and then just have the actual characters come in as
I mean,
NPCs?
just have them make characters. I mean, because honestly, it's
That's
like,
what I'm leaning towards. Yeah,
because I'm Raceland, so now I'm gonna be like, you know, just like
and only 2 of the 5 know anything about the books,
yeah.
Right. So they're not going to care anyway.
which is great. Because I want to be able to tell the story, and they'll be like, "Oh, what the hell? This dude has golden skin? What?"
Yeah.
Why does he have golden skin? Does it have anything to do with the test?
I remember reading a lot of stuff about the play testing of the game,
Mhm.
and how like the notes that of what the players did as the characters or whatever, Weiss and Hickman ended up like taking a lot of it and like like incorporating it into the books, like
Yeah.
like the when Raceland charms the gully dwarf girl.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Boo boo.
Like that happened in like the game, and then
Yeah.
they thought that was such a cool idea that he had done that, and then you know, and like had the gully dwarf kind of follow them around and stuff like that. So then they put that in there, and then, you know, so I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's cool. I mean, I remember I was reading the books, and then I started picking up the adventures just so I could read the stats of
Yeah.
like of what the characters had and stuff like that,
Right.
so I could see. And I remember like, because everybody
Is it-
remembered like they talked about when Sturm showed up at the thing, and they talked about like, you know, he had like the full knight's armor on, and he had the sword, and they were talking about how like everybody kind of had that like negative attitude about Knights of Solamnia, and but like they looked at like him and the armor and the sword, and nobody would dare say anything to him. And then like I remember I looked at his stats, and it was like his stat, he didn't have like an 18 strength, he had like a 17 strength, and like, you know, pretty normal stats. But then yeah, he had plate mail, which was like nobody had, because that was one of the things about Kryn, was that the steel piece was their
their gold piece.
Because metal was super rare and super hard to come by. So, you know, people wore leather armor, and nobody had really good armor.
That.
But he had plate mail, and his sword. There was like talking about like it was his father's sword and everything.
Yeah, it was
like
like
that.
a 2-handed sword.
It was a two-handed sword plus 3. It was like super
ridiculous.
bad, like ridiculously badass. You know,
It was
just,
a +3.
Yeah, it was a +3 sword, which is just like, which is ridiculous.
Well, it deals 4 to 13 points of damage plus whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so and he's just swinging that left and right, and and if you remember old AD&D rules, because it was +3, that reduced the weapon speed by 3. So if you went strictly down the
I
path,
forgot about that.
yeah. So he would be swinging very fast, very often
Oh,
in old AD&D combat rules. If you used all of the crazy,
We only
rules.
use the weapon speeds for initiative ties.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, he would be
Yeah.
he would be crushing people. I remember Karamon had like an 1893 strength though. He really was
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
a guy that was just ridiculously strong and powerful. Yeah.
It was funny though. So Tanis is listed as a fighter,
Yep.
and Riverwind is listed as a ranger.
Yep.
Okay. Is that a mistake?
Yeah, it is, but I think it was it should have been like flipped for sure.
I mean,
Because they didn't have.
you could argue it, but it seems backwards.
Yeah.
Not to get completely off track talking about D&D stuff, but like I always thought that like when somebody played a cleric, I always got annoyed. Whenever I played a cleric, I would make them just, and I'm not telling them to be all to play, but I would play them just over the top religious, like whatever their belief or faith was, because it's like why would somebody who like, oh yeah, I believe in Paladine or whatever as my god.
Right.
It's like
Shaka.
or whatever. Oh, you try to make services every Sunday, and you maybe say a prayer before you go to bed or something like that. Why doesn't that guy, wake up one morning and get like the power to heal himself? Oh no, it's because like it's the frickin' fanatics, the people that are wearing nothing but those emblems on their armor and their shield and their weapon, and they talk about it every day, and I gotta save you, and I gotta basically do everything that embodies this faith every single day of my life. Every single action of my entire life is all based around this belief, and how that's why that person has a direct line to God to get those abilities and powers and stuff like that.
What do they call when you harm yourself?
Oh, self-flagellation.
Flagellation.
Yeah, my buddy Jason played a neutral cleric. I forget what the god was, but like if he felt that like he had done like too much good and not enough evil in a certain day, he would like, I go off apart from the party and self-flagellate myself for like, yes, that was no, and I realize that sometimes like people just don't want to have to worry about being, following all these different hoops to jump through just to do whatever. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I remember, I don't know if you, AD&D in first edition, but I mean, a lot of people grew up playing, BX, like basic and expert set or whatever. And you gotta remember, clerics didn't even get spells at first level. They were just a weak fighter at first level.
Yeah, I played basic. I was a thief.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, not a lot of
It had that little
points.
circle that you could draw your little character in.
Yep. I'm sure yours looked horrible.
Oh, it did. I was 10.
Yeah, my first character was a fighter, and his name was Bram, and he got killed by a dragon.
My character's name was Bilge.
There you go.
Bilge.
Yeah.
Like a pump.
Deck.
He was always dirty.
Yeah.
Bilging the water out of a boat.
Bilge
Yeah.
pump.
You got bilge pump?
Yeah.
And Scott doesn't
Exactly
believe
what
in
it-
playing a role-playing game because he doesn't want to have to pretend to be something that isn't.
And I just feel goofy.
I'm in the same boat, Scott, I think.
I mean, what it is, what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Haven't said that in a while.
Just gotta let it go.
So I played some games this weekend.
I played some tonight.
Where'd you play?
All right. Well, wait. No, Scott, you brought it up.
Yeah. What'd you play, Scott?
Let me bring my list up. Hold on.
Oh God, there's a
He's
list.
got a list.
I can't because I can't remember anything anymore.
Oh, okay.
You play Foundations of Rome?
It's hard.
The medications.
I have played Foundations around.
The cube box.
Did
It's
we
like
talk
the board
about it?
cube for crying out loud.
It's a great game. It's a really great game. It really should be there should be a cardboard version of it.
Yeah. I played a game. Well, anyway, yeah.
Oh,
I played a game. I played a game by another designer who it's basically a cheaper production, similar style game as Foundations Rome, and I'm excited to see where that ends up landing, publisher wise.
Played Sniper Elite, the board game. You guys heard of that game?
No, I don't think
Sniper
so.
Elite.
It's based on the video game Sniper Elite. It's a
fancy
hidden.
stuff.
It's a hidden movement game. There's one sniper, and then the rest of the team is trying to track down and find the sniper
Oh,
before the sniper finishes their. You get dealt 2 like goals that you need to, like you need to go plant the bomb at the blah blah blah, or like put it, or to say, or put a, I don't know. They're fun and thematic, but they don't mean anything. You just have to basically go through this map, and you have a little map board that you're doing dry erase on as the sniper, and you're not allowed to walk through the enemies, so they are blockers. So if they block you in, you can't go anywhere. But sometimes you don't even have to move. But usually the hidden role character can't shoot a sniper shot
Right.
to take out the enemies, which is awesome in this game, because all of a sudden you're like, the sniper player is like starts drawing chips out of the bag, like that's the mechanic to shoot, and depending on how many spaces away is how many chips you have to draw. You need successes out of the drawback. Now you could draw the whole bag, but basically there's mechanisms to prevent you from doing that, because if you draw a certain number of like jams or whatever, you can't shoot, or you get exposed because there's too much sound. So let's say you draw 6 chips and you draw 4 successes, and that means you can make a shot that's 4 spaces away from where you are. Now you don't, like as the enemy, you don't know where I am as a sniper. So he just takes your figure off he draws the chips and they show up, and he takes one of the characters off the board and it sends it out of the game, which is awesome. The tension in the game is awesome.
So how's that work with the chip? Is it like, do they give you a sense of direction with it, or it's just?
No. So you draw chips out of the bag. There's loud. Like if you draw 2 of the loud chips out of the bag, he has to expose himself and show you where he is. Now he doesn't necessarily need to be there, because he could basically shoot and then move.
Right.
But he just shows you where he made the shot.
Right.
So he puts his little figure on the board, and you're like, okay, well, that's where he came from. But you don't know how far. But he runs faster than everybody. So you are slow to move. Like the guards only move 2 spaces, and he moves 3, something like that, up to 3.
That makes sense.
And so he can outrun the guards. But all the guards have special abilities. Like you have all the players. There's 3 non-sniper players. They're officers that have special abilities.
Okay.
So if one of my guys gets shot, I have a medic, and you don't get shot. You basically don't go off the board. You just you mark off a medic chip. You have 2 activations of your special abilities. It's really, really well done. This is David Thompson, of course. I mean, he's an amazing designer.
I have to look into this one.
Yeah, he did the Undaunted system. It's him and another guy. It's not just David Thompson, but that's the name I can remember. But we played that, and we're like, the guy who played the sniper was just like, he was adrenalized because there was so much tension of because we almost had him, and he led us into this little room, and then he pulled off a thing called a trench gun, which basically kills every single person around you. I was like, okay, well, and you don't know what equipment they take. There's like 10 equipment cards in the game. You only draft 4. You draft 4 equipment cards, and some of the equipment is like silent running. And if you run by a character, or like if you run by a guard, you have to tap the figure on it. Like you tap it and said you heard something. So that means it's 2 spaces away, and that can be through walls. It's windows basically. So it's really, really clever. Like it's a really good hidden movement system. I mean, there's a lot of hidden movement systems, but that was like we were like, this is great.
You're a Dracula.
It's just,
and it's done in an hour and a half. If you're a Dracula,
yeah, that's the problem with Fury of Dracula. It's a little clunky, and it's 3-4 hour game. But I do enjoy
that
that one.
redone. I mean, I like Fury of Dracula too. But the Fury of Dracula, I guess you can kill the player, right? If you put 2 bite marks on them, they're dead.
Yeah, and then no, isn't it 3? It's 2. It's 2 for
and then the
Mina.
third. Yeah,
It's 2 for Mina.
right. Because Mina already has a bite mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so that's like one of those things. That's a cool aspect of the game is like depending upon when you're playing, is that like you'll use the Mina player as bait, right? To like you wanna because the player will wanna like run out and give her a bite so you can get those 2, and then it becomes like kind of a cat and mouse. Then you get the Mina player to run away, and then like kind of keep that one and then have them doing other stuff.
Yeah, I feel like if you get attacked as Dracula in the daytime, you're dead. Like,
oh yeah, I mean,
really
you have to make sure you have what's the one card you can use to escape during the day? It's been so long since I remembered.
I don't remember.
It's
you can't turn into mist.
You can turn into the wolf though, and then the wolf lets you move. It's like it lets you move like 2 spaces or whatever. So like depending upon where you're at, you can go and you can get going. I mean, the biggest thing about when you're playing the vampire is that you gotta. And whenever I played Dracula, you gotta stay 1 or 2 spaces at all times. You need to be close enough to be able to get to a port, because and even though being at sea hurts you, it's like
it's a way to get away.
It's like it's when you're getting completely trounced, you just need to go. Admittedly, the combat system,
I wish it was. I just feel like it just needs to be redone. What else did I play? I played Dice Realms. That's that new.
Oh yeah. How is that?
It's good. It's a little. It's dry. I mean, you're not playing. It doesn't. You're sort of playing solitaire because unless you get attack dice. Tom Lehman game.
Yeah.
It's been like 5 years in the making. The production values are like huge because it's like these customizable dice faces, right?
Yeah.
You start with like the basics, get a gold, get a wheat, get an upgrade, and I think that's it. So you basically, as soon as you start getting upgrades, then you start popping faces off to go a level up or 2 levels. And you're getting gold, and you're getting wheat, and there's a third die that rotates around the board. It's the the calamity die. Then winter hits, then you have to pay a grain per dice. If you can't pay, then you basically get a -2 chip. If the -2 chips run out, or if the victory points can go very quick. As soon as someone starts getting victory points, like the game can be over in a minute because it's not that many victory. It's kind of like Race for the Galaxy.
Yeah.
If you start collecting victory points and no one else is like you can just hoard them all for yourself. But there's an end game scoring. Every upgrade is like a point. It's pretty neat. We played it 2 times. We played it 3 times. I could not get an upgrade. I mean a new dice. You have to pay 5 wheat. Or is it $5 and 2 wheat? I think something like that to get another die.
Yeah.
Like I could never roll it. I could never get enough gold and you don't really hold gold. Like if you score 4 or 5 gold in a turn, you have to spend it all. There's no
spend it or lose it.
Yeah, you can save 1 gold per turn.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but it's neat. I mean, it's fun. We played it 3 times in a row, which is rare for us.
Yeah.
I wish it had better graphics.
Really?
Dice Realms, Robert Purdon says it didn't like it, wasn't really sold. It's fun. I mean, I feel it's an expensive game for what it is. I mean, it's $120 MSRP. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. But anytime you're messing around with changeable dice faces and stuff, it's pretty tough to.
But I remember Dice Forge from who did the Dice Forge game? Anybody remember?
Who was that? I don't remember.
It wasn't as many faces though.
Yeah,
well, was it like 200? I mean, the thing is, looks like a spreadsheet when you punch it all out. I mean, it's tons of pieces. Right. and they're all like microscopic text. It's like I wish they were just
Right.
a little more graphic, but I guess I don't know what it takes to make that kind of stuff. So
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's
it's
probably
good.
appropriately priced, but yeah.
We're gonna try to play it on game night.
Yeah.
What else? We played Space Station Phoenix. Anybody played that yet?
Oh, I think I saw your photo. For
I heard
it,
I
but
heard good things
That
about
game
it.
is awesome. That game is awesome.
It
It's a
is
very good
awesome.
game.
Is
It's
this Lincoln in the
asymmetric.
chat again?
Is Lincoln in chat?
It looks like he is.
He said Ludonaut.
Luna
Ludonaut did nice.
Ludonaut.
Thanks.
Super not. Nobody else remembers that old Ministry song? Super not. Nobody?
You metalhead.
So Space Station Phoenix, you start with like 8 ships, and you start deconstructing them to get metal to build your space station. So you have
And
to.
I should say the Supernaut was a Black Sabbath song that Ministry covered. It was a really awesome cover.
Never heard of it.
Sorry.
I heard
Really?
I think this episode. Yeah. Anyway, it's got Meldon metal.
Yeah, so the Space Station Phoenix comes with like 200 pieces. I'm not exaggerating.
Okay.
Tons of little, cubes and stuff and discs and whatnot. And then there's like a jillion space station parts that you can mix and match. You pick, I think you pick 4 of each size. If you're in a 4-player game, you pick 1 for each size. So there's like level 1, level 2, level 3, and then there's 3 types of space stations of different colors.
Huh.
So it's really got a lot of.
This looks pretty cool.
It takes the whole friggin' table. I mean, it's massive.
I'm looking at the way those little chunkies lay on your board. That looks really cool.
Right.
And every space station part is different. It gives you a
Yeah.
power, and you fill it up with aliens, and then you activate powers inside the space station. It's really good.
Looks cool.
If I come up with a complaint, there's a little bit of fiddliness to it. So every time someone takes an action, there's powers it's called what do you call it?
Like follow powers, and you have to go check
Not
and make
follow.
sure.
It's not exactly follow. It's sort of like you get a power if you're leveled up in that power.
Yeah.
So if I do the thing, like I was leveled up in the Earth power. Like if you go to
Yeah.
Earth and try to get humans, like you roll these dice and your
Yeah.
resource, you're going to Terra, so you're
Okay.
pulling resources, right?
Yeah.
Every time someone did that, I got a victory point
And you'd
because
forget
I
and then
leveled it
have,
up.
and then have to
Yeah,
retro.
so I'm like,
and,
you did what? Oh, I get a victory point.
yeah.
You did it? Okay, you get a victory point. You did? I get a victory point.
Yep.
Then sometimes you get 2 of something. So it's like a victory point and a resource. So then I'm like, every turn I have to pay attention, which is like a little taxing, but it's
the little
I mean,
the
it's
little
just a
micro
lot.
fiddlies. Yeah.
It's a little micro fiddly,
Yeah.
little micromanagement.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I mean, the game is real solid. It's gonna be contender. I hope it gets picked, like people can notice it because it's real good.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
All right, kids.
I played Millefiori again.
What?
Matt's
Taking
down
off,
here.
Matthew?
Oh, you're heading out?
I've been getting up at like 6 a.m. lately to go.
What games
run
did
it,
you
and
play?
I'm fucking
Talk about,
beat.
what game did you play? What
Yeah,
games?
tells me to play first. Or
Seven Wonders Builders,
Architects.
Architects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I had
A little-
heard of the build.
Choose this card A, card B, or card C. Yeah, yeah. it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
It was
I
really
like it.
fun.
Yeah.
It was. We played 2 quick games and I lost it, but it was really fun. And then we played Jamaica after that, which I'd never played before.
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
I don't know if I played that one, Matt.
I haven't played that one.
It's a race game.
I went to my buddy Christian. He lives in Quebec, and so I drove across the river to go to a game night in Quebec, and like our table was pretty much the only table speaking English, and if I wasn't there, it wouldn't have either. So
You were that guy.
I was that guy during downtime.
Can we speak English, you guys?
During quiet times? If I was like, they would break off into chat amongst themselves, and it would just be all French. I mean, like I'd catch this and that, but I'd be like, I'm gonna call it a night, guys.
Overloaded from not understanding.
Yeah, it was fun though. Both of those games were new to me, and they were fun. So Anywho.
Well, good to see you, man.
I like Seven Wonders Arctic. I feel like it's a game of the year type contender, but it didn't get nominated.
It's
I played that
solid.
at
It's
VGT
really
for the
solid.
first time.
Yeah, it's solid.
That was my first time. It was, yeah, I had a blast.
Yeah, I'd play it again in a second.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, and it plays pretty fast if you know that.
Oh.
Because all you got to do is decide what card to draw,
Right.
and two of them
Yeah,
are
yeah.
face up, and it's like, well, which one do you want?
Right. Neither of those. I'll take the face
Neither of
down
those.
one.
Take the random one.
Yeah, yeah. Oops. Should
Flip
have
it
taken
over.
the face up one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should do
Oh,
that.
and on Sunday I played Guild of Merchant Explorers.
I was I'm trying to think about
Good.
it.
It was good. I mean, I worked on it, but
It wasn't a Kickstarter, so it's just a game.
Guild of
Just
Merchant.
a game you can buy online now or
Oh.
from a store. It's amazing.
I've never
it's
heard of it.
it's a roll and it's a
Oh, it's AEG. Oh, I have played this.
it's a flip and right, but not. It's actual game, not a flip and right. So
I have played this.
yeah, I enjoyed it. The people I was playing with though I had to explain the rules, probably a dozen times throughout the
Yeah.
game. So it was a little patience trying, but
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I want to try it.
You'd think that maybe
Sold out everywhere. Actually,
Kinda
no,
it'll
classic.
be back.
Classic
Sold-
AEG
no, no.
style
Sold
where
out.
like,
the Geek Game
you
Show.
know, everybody's dealing with the same input in their own unique way and trying to make the best of the same random input.
well, if you were going to the big game night, you'd get a copy.
What's
I
the
was
big game now?
at Gen Con.
Yeah.
What's the ticket
Maybe-
cost on the big game night?
$50, 35, 35.
50 pounds.
No.
So you basically
What
gotta
is
buy the
big game night?
But you get
at-
like
at
6
Gen Con?
games at least or something.
Oh, you
Yeah,
get
what
six?
is big?
Oh, I
What is
didn't-
big
I-
game?
What
night?
is big game night at Gen Con?
So
Yeah.
there's like
And why was I not invited?
300 people that go
You
to
can buy
this
a
thing in one of the event halls, and they have 3 or 4 games that they actually have set up to play. One the year I was helping out, they did what was it? There's more than 300 people.
Monopoly.
They did a Tiny Towns. Like every person that attended played Tiny Towns in one huge fucking game,
Wow.
and they had
That's
and
cool.
Pete
Because
Pete-
everybody's like, I drew the red one.
Yeah.
well, so it's basically Pete, the designer, the game designer. He would draw the cards,
Yeah.
and people were walking around these big like
Placards.
like the girls in the boxing
Yeah.
ring, right?
The round markers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, so at the end of the night, you get a box, you get a loot box, and it's got like 5 or 6 games in it.
Oh, AEG's big game night. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar.
He's familiar. He knows what it was.
That game night.
yeah.
I say nothing to disparage AEG. Both John and Todd.
Yeah, I
Is
like
Todd
Todd.
even
No, they
here?
make good games.
Yeah, Todd's still there.
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't
don't
seen
know if I know
Todd in a
Todd.
long time. But yeah, no, I was lucky enough to hang out with John in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Long,
Such a
long time
great
ago.
man. I
Yeah.
love
I've
him.
always had great interactions with John.
He's
So,
so genuine.
Yeah.
They just hired a new marketing VP actually,
Oh,
Joe Livingston.
I don't know, Joe.
oh, Joe Livingston.
Oh,
You know.
Dr. Livingston.
I presume.
Ha 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 ha.
Y'all were thinking it. Don't lie.
Don't pretend you weren't.
Not even a little.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
anyway, indeed.
but all right, I'm gonna go slumber.
Cool. I'll see you at Gen Con, right, man?
You sure will.
Excellent.
Not if he sees you
That's
first.
a few weeks away.
Well, I guess I'll see you here first.
4 weeks away.
All right. I'm getting antsy.
Have a happy Canada Day, all you
June
guys.
floated by. I don't know how it happened.
Right?
See you, man.
June's pretty good.
so when's Canada Day?
July 1st.
It's actually called Happy Canada
So-
Day. You can't
so-
just say
so
Canada
this
Day.
is- this is a
It's
little-
Happy
this-
Canada Day.
This is a little bit of a story after dark kind of thing.
Better go,
It's-
Matt,
it's-
before
no,
you-
no.
Let him-
Buddy,
let him- You
I,
better go.
I had a buddy. I had a buddy that had
Stories after dark.
that I used
Nope,
to work
he's
with
gone.
at US Bank. Oh, I had a buddy that I worked with at US Bank who had a tryst with a married woman.
You've told me
And-
this story like 3 times.
I have, yeah, and then like, and she wasn't Canadian or
Not
anything
gonna
like
stop
that, but for like several years after, they had this like in flagrante delicto thing going on for like about a
Ooh.
month, and then
In
she moved away
flagrante.
with her husband to go do whatever. But every year, she just sent him a text that said "Happy Canada Day, Ben." That was the only thing she it was just like. And there was like, I was like, really? Is that like when you first
That's your
started hanging
Canada
out with
story?
her? Yeah, I was like, is that like no? And I was like, why did she send you that then? He's like, I don't know. Just and then finally I remember somebody mentioned Canada. I was like, hey, did what? And he's like, no, she didn't. And I was like, oh. And he's like, I know, totally.
She
Oh.
forgot. She forgot.
She got
Um,
married and moved on.
She's already married. That was the whole point. She was already married. But anyway,
Remarried.
I am not whatever. I'm not here promoting outside of marriage entanglements. It just was a funny thing.
I love that word.
Entanglements.
I
Entanglement.
mean, it's not like I was a game designer and getting a free pass when I like head out to a convention or something like that.
Entanglement.
Quantum entanglements. That sounds. What was that whole? There was that famous episode of Seinfeld where, like, he decided he'd rather date the roommate, but he wanted to know how he could switch. And then he was just like, it can't be done, Jerry. And George is like, he's like, George, this is why you invited me over to fix this problem. It can't be done. And then they were like, but George, if anybody can figure it out, it's the two of us. He's like, all right, Jerry, I'll try to figure it out. And then you sit there and you see him, there's like a montage where they're writing things down, they're arguing, and then they're both
They're working on a blackboard.
yeah, just like you imagine
Formulas,
finally George, they're dejected now, and George is like, it's like, Jerry, I got it. And he's just like, so he said to her that you need to go. And then the next time you go out with her, you need to just mention that you think her roommate is attractive. Just somehow bring that up. And then mention to her, do you think there'd be a possibility of like us inviting her to the bedroom? For the three of us. Exactly. And then so it's like but she'll be mad. And he's like, well, maybe, but then don't you want to break up with her anyway? But here's the deal. She breaks up with you. She goes home. She tells the roommate, who had like flirted with him. She tells the roommate that like you broke up with her, and here's why. And then she tells the reason why. Then she's going to call you to find out if you're interested. And he's like, that could work. That could work. And so Jerry goes to go and do it. And then you see him, and George is like, he's like, Godspeed. He like runs out the door to go do it. Then you see Jerry, he comes back and he just looks all dejected. And he's like, what's wrong? And he's like, well, I did exactly as he said. Yeah. She said that she thought it was a good idea. And he was just like, so it's like, that's even better. And he's just like, oh, I can't do it though. I gotta grow the mustache and do everything. I won't be able.
I vaguely remember this episode.
And then George is like, oh, yeah, I could have done it. Really? No, I couldn't. He's just
He wasn't sponge worthy.
yeah. That's the other good one. But yeah, that was a good episode.
All right.
The
See you guys.
montage to try to figure out how to pull it
Matthew.
off.
See you, man.
See you, buddy.
Still here.
I got more games.
Oh yeah, what else do you play?
Scotty, what did you got?
Mille Fiori.
It's
It's about glass making. It's
Oh,
Reiner
what an
Knizia.
exciting!
It's a good game. I really love it. It's really fun. Like it's basically a card draft.
It's a good game. I
draw-
really love it. Everybody
Okay.
should own it.
Over and over. It's like a drafting placement game where you put tiles into the game and you get.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
You know what's a drafting placement game coming soon from Grey Fox Games to Kickstarter? That would be Prophets of Doom.
It's a really good game. I
It's
love
really
it.
good.
You should
Did
get
Reiner
it.
Knizia design it?
No, Reiner
Have
Knizia did
buried
not
to your
design
PR.
this.
And the last game I played was Hour of Need,
Hour of
which I bought through the
No.
geek market.
what is this?
The-
Yeah?
Way too much money for it.
The last.
'Cause I missed
Hey.
the Kickstarter for it.
You know what Hour of Need is?
This is
The last
Blacklist?
game that'll ever come out from Blacklist Games.
Yeah.
That's why I bought it. That's why I bought it.
Oh, is
That's
that what
why.
it is? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, because I like
Looks
their
like a
card-
comic book.
You know,
It
I
is-
haven't
it's a
gone
superhero.
and checked the comments. So I haven't checked
It's
the
a
comments
superhero.
for Blacklist
Let me
Miniatures
talk
in a
about the
while.
game and then I'll be done.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's
I'm
a-
sorry. I'm just.
you know,
I just need to like guilty pleasure here.
I don't know what they call it. It's like card building card system. They call it. I don't know what they call it. But basically, you have a deck of cards for your powers, and then it's sort of mechanical. Like it goes through like you do two actions, and then you evaluate the threats that are in front of you from left to right, and their cards.
Yeah.
And you basically just repeat and rinse. I mean, but it's really cool. It generates a superhero comic book type game where the villain is trying to go from point A to they're trying to accomplish their goals from each location, and they basically walk around the board, and you can't attack them until they are unhidden.
Mm.
And then when they're unhidden, they basically they come on the board and you can hit them. It's pretty well done. I mean, I don't like the minis at all. In fact, I would rather have all just tokens because like the minis just to me look like nothing.
Yeah.
But
Are the minis that bad?
I just don't like the minis because for one, they're all humans, right? And they all look the same to me. So I'm like, I can't look at the board and go, that has 3 bystanders and 2 minions and the villain is there, right? I can't just see that on the board. There's
Right.
no color, like they're not painted.
Right.
Like there's no color coordination to anything. It's
Yeah.
like
It's not a quick
no
glance.
markers. There's
Yeah.
no, so I have to be like, okay, there's 3 bystanders here, and I've got okay, so I can, yeah, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
But the system is awesome. I really like their card, the Sadler Brothers card, whatever it's called. I want to say card crafting system, but I know that's not it. It's card deck or it's deck building.
Deck shaping. Shape
It's not even
crafter.
deck. It's not deck building either because you basically have a deck you don't get to control. You just shuffle it and start drawing.
It's a card game.
I don't remember.
Card game.
But we really liked it. I mean, it runs a little long because it's mechanical. Like if you played any of
Yeah.
those games, like the Street Masters game, which is like Street Fighter, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The dungeon game, Alter Quest. What's the other one
Oh,
that
yeah.
they do another one? And then the Hour of Need, which I guess is the third one. I really like that system, and I feel like it could work for like a lot of different things. So I'm sad that it's going under, or not finishing there.
Or whatever. Yeah.
So I basically went out in the geek market and paid way too much money for it.
No.
Ordered someone's Kickstarter,
Yeah.
which was not much higher than the actual Kickstarter price. It was not like gouging or anything. So,
Yeah.
but I don't like the minis, and I don't love the packaging. I just wish it was all tokens, and I don't like their tokens. Like I feel like they're still making the same tokens they made in the Street Masters. They don't look that good. Like you have to track because you have to track health, and it's like they don't look that great. But the system is cool,
Yeah. Alter Quest looks a lot like Hero.
and the
Quest.
dice system is fun. Oh, Alter Quest is identical. It's not identical, but it's
right.
similar.
It's kind of it was
it's
a more
system.
contemporary.
It's the same system. It's a dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
You draw a card and you put it in front of you. If it's a minion, it's like on you.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that was my games.
That was
That was 2 weeks of games.
Nice.
What about you, Evan? You playing anything?
Me? Last 2 weeks? Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Oh, I
So
played the Oracle Delphi. I forgot about the Oracle Delphi.
Oh, nice.
Remember that game?
The Oracle.
That
yeah,
game
I
only
do.
came out 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You'd think it didn't exist anymore because it's like I guess it's out of print. It's gone.
Is it?
I mean, it was a TMG game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was.
I got it on the clearance.
Clarence.
Clear.
Let's see. 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago was Origins. I played Coloma, Lunar Rush, Foundations of Rome, and After the Empire.
That last one
Um,
sucks. I heard.
Yeah, it's no good. The design's
Yeah.
jerk.
Jerk.
Yeah, Foundations of Rome. I was surprised how much fun I had. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. I really did have a good time.
Really?
Which one?
Yeah, Foundations of Rome.
It's a good game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I
solid.
really,
Yeah,
I had
solid.
a great time playing it. I liked. It's not overly complex, but it's got just enough. Like, oh, if I put this building out, then during this phase, I'll get an extra thing. Or
Yeah. Did you play with any of the expansions?
No, just the base.
Yeah.
Just the base.
There's more to it, which I want to
There.
play.
Yeah.
There's like special powers, and there's cards that come up in the queue that you can buy.
And there's like monuments, right?
and
One of them.
monuments. Yeah, there's 3. The solo we played, me, Lincoln, and Nikki played the co-op game. It's really good. Like
Yeah.
the system is solid. Like
Solid, yeah.
it tries to beat you pretty handily.
Yeah. So yeah, I was really surprised. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Lunar Rush was one by Dead Alive Games. They've put out Omicron Protocol so far. It's kind of a smaller publisher.
What's it called? Lunar Rush.
Lunar Rush, yeah. It was a good like space trade Mars resource trading. You go up and down from Earth to Mars and mine stuff and bring it back and sell it. It was good. Coloma, that one's older,
Yeah, Colono's all right. I liked it.
but that was my first one. I liked the little circle
Yeah. Rundown.
action rondel
Yeah.
with a very pleasing magnet.
Yeah.
And then of course after the Empire was I was actually surprised that we made it through a game at the bar at like midnight.
Really?
Well, that's because
Like-
nobody was there, from what I heard.
Well, it wasn't packed.
Mm.
But like one of our players was always like off, like saying hi and doing whatever, and we still made it through a game in only a couple hours, so that was all right. And then after that, let's see, Beyond the Sun, I finally played live in person. So there was a few rules that I had to like, wait, that's how that works? Because I was so used to online implementation.
Mm.
But Beyond the Sun is still like looks bad, but is an amazing game.
It's a spreadsheet game.
Yeah, it's a spreadsheet game.
Yeah.
But it's so freaking good.
I don't know how to make it. I mean, I feel like the boards are like the little board should be big and the big board should be little.
Yeah, right,
Which,
right. Just as far as
Like all
interest
the
level.
cards don't need to be on the board,
Right. And then I played like 40 games of Fantasy Realms with my wife.
Fantasy Realms.
Yeah,
That's a nice little game.
Yeah. It's about what we can squeeze in.
Do you have the expansion?
The Cursed Realm or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Does that have
Although we really like some of it and took out other parts of it.
Okay.
We use about half of the expansion. There's a one suit called the Outsiders that for the most part we just didn't really care for the way in which it brought in other mechanics.
Mm.
So we just cut out the Outsiders and played with
Is
everything
it
else.
attacking stuff or is it just
No, it's just like weird, wonky, game breaky rules that like are kind of zany and occasionally useful, but for the most part, you either plan a deck around it or it's garbage in your hand.
Okay.
Which like totally works for a lot of play styles, but for me, I would rather have cards that aren't quite as zany and a little more frequently something I would want to draw.
I just like saying the word zany.
I mean, right? Like Zangief, the best of
Oh,
all
this-
characters.
Yep.
Hey, here's Chad. You gonna ask for your hot games room?
I'll tell Chad to get a hold of me. We'll have a conversation. That's your phone.
He's in the thing.
It's your phone.
You mind your own damn business.
It was
Fantasy
Yeah.
Realms. Fantasy Realms is
I'll be right back.
Okay.
was
We'll be right back.
was catchy enough that I got my non-gamer little brother into it, and now he
Hey
bought
Chad,
a copy and
reach
plays
out
with
to me
his
on
wife.
the
his girlfriend.
Facebook or send me a direct message, Chad Roberts. I gotta talk to you real quick.
I didn't
There you
hear. You got your
Uh-oh.
brother hooked? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I got my brother. He's not a gamer, but I got him hooked on Fantasy Realms. He went out and bought a copy and plays like every night with his girlfriend.
That's cool.
It's a good game to pass the time, man.
Fantasy Realms is good.
I'm a big fan.
You've got a what's it called?
I have
And
my
And
cards.
it's easily transportable.
Easily transportable. There's like a sweet meta that starts to establish between any two players that have played a lot, where Jenna always knows that regardless of whatever happens, if she puts down the unicorn, I'm gonna pick it up, even if it's garbage in my hand.
Mm.
I'll still grab it. It's a lot of fun. They made a really good game.
Well, I think the coolest thing about Fantasy Realms is that I owned it before everybody else thought it was cool. And the second thing is that
Then you sold it once everybody else liked it.
Yeah.
I can't play it anymore after that. You know
I'm
that.
too good for this now.
And then
I played it twice.
And then the second thing is that it was like one of those things where it was, like every card's different. It was like I remember when Zeb was telling me about it when it first came out. He was like, he's like it's a drafting game that like is deck drafting from the deck, so it's like you're and it's just like your pool drafting, I think is how he described it. And he said every single card is different and they all interact in different ways. And I was like, well, that sounds pretty amazing. And he says it's $20. And I was like, all right, here's your $20.
That sounds pretty good.
I'll give you a double sawbuck for that. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah.
And then I was impressed.
Yeah. It's just so easy to pull out wherever.
Yeah. Are we still talking about
games,
card games.
I played Lost Runes of Arnak again. I'm
on the tabletop
so far. Yeah,
I haven't played it actual physical yet.
I'm still this is I think the third time I played it. I'm still exploring it still, so I'm pretty impressed with it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the online version at least.
Yeah, I can't do that. I still, even like Lance had me play test a couple of them games on the tabletop simulator. I have a hard time with that. It's like playing a video game to me or something. It's a tactical thing, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough to get like the field of play. It's tough to like take it all in online.
Yeah.
When you're like when you're trying to see what everybody else is doing, it's like it's pretty tough online, I think.
Yeah, but when you're learning a lot, I guess. It's like the Last Garden too, which
Last Garden.
It's Scott has it in the BGG store. It's a worker placement game.
That's from Chris. He works at Funko now.
Funko?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris Rowlands.
Chris Rowlands. I've never played it. I didn't play it.
I haven't heard of this. That was 2017.
Yeah, I am planning to do the videos on this guy. I'm waiting for my hands to heal up. They got really beat up.
Don't worry, Barry. You know my stance on that.
Yeah, but I do want to do them. Like I said, I enjoyed the game so far. I'm really impressed with that. I say back. I think it's picking fruit. No, I say it's fruit picking, a Korean game. It's an intro game, an entry level game, a rondel game.
Oh, okay.
But
2014 or 2020.
The fruit picking was, I think, 2020.
2020,
okay.
Yeah. From Korea game.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, got it.
That one I'm impressed.
You need a gift card, Evan. Let me know. I'll send
that.
I send all the Alaboomers gift cards. So if you want to get some games.
Ooh.
I'm impressed with that one just because of how it scales up for like an intro person. Like you could play it with kids, and then you could scale it up to with adults. And build the complexity up a little bit with the kids. The solo game was okay. It's a logic puzzle basically, but you could eliminate pieces to make it a little tougher. I was really impressed with what comes in the box with that for how cheap it was on the store. Yeah. And then, like I said, that Last Garden, I'm still getting a feel for. I only played it once, so it's the fuck up game.
What kind of game is Last Garden?
It's a worker placement game set in like a dystopian world.
I knew it was dystopian.
And I'm still working on it. The rules kind of lay it out linearly, but you don't play that way. So I'm still trying to figure that out a little bit.
Right.
It looks interesting with there's like the 1 through 6 kind of rondel looking thing.
Which game are you talking about?
Last Garden here.
Okay. Give me a minute.
There's like pizza pie slices out of a circle and then 1 through 6.
Then you get the gems and the worker placement. Yeah. Yeah, the art's iffy for me, but
that's Sobel.
Yeah. But it's a cool game so far.
I like that Sobel.
It's only the first game. I only played it once. I'm waiting Jen's off tomorrow, so I want to get that. And we got a couple expansions for Quacks. So I want to get them to the table.
We played The Alchemist on live stream the other day, and that's a pretty fun expansion.
Did you? That's the one I was looking at.
Yeah, it's really good. And there's a big box now. You can get all 3 expansions, or all.
Oh, that's
two
Quacks.
the basic expansions, the witches and the alchemist.
The witches and the wardrobes.
That's tell you what the Quacks picks though. When that one box got, it's pretty it's a puzzle sometimes. You get all that in there with all 3 expansions.
Oh, did you get the boxes too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got
I think they fit. You got to pull the insert out, I think.
Yeah, they do fit. It's just with everything. It's
tight.
It's tight. Yeah.
It's tight.
It's tight.
Toy.
Yeah, I got everything but the bags from the store. Pretty quick.
Bags are good too.
I think they were out of stock at the time.
Oh, I think so.
And I got big hands. I'm funny with bags anyway.
They're big. They're big. But
Are they?
They're made for big-handed people.
Good. Most bags aren't.
These bead hooks, even.
But yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll get that to the table.
You got big hands, you're gonna love our bags. Big bags for bighandedguys.com. Come on down. Lance, what'd you play?
Nothing.
There we go.
I don't play games.
Nothing.
So I meant to tell you guys, I played the colonoscopy game. You heard of that game?
Oh yeah, you have that.
I heard it's shitty.
It's shitty. It's a shitty ass game. There's some not so fun parts of that game, and then there's parts that are like no big deal. I thought it was, I was in and out in 2 hours.
That's not bad.
I was in at 9 a.m. out by 11, which is seems
they were in and out. No,
they were in and out in 18 minutes. Actually, they recorded the amount of time that they're in there. It's 18 minutes on the results.
Yeah,
but I've never been under anesthesia before. It was quite pleasant. I don't remember anything. I was
anyway. Take some video. Take some video of you being.
I wish I would love to see the video. I have not seen the video. Oh, we lost.
Barry
didn't want to hear about the colonoscopy.
He did not want to hear.
So I went in, and you do all the prep is the worst part, which is just whatever.
You like can't eat or whatever.
So the day before, so the week before, you're not supposed to eat seeds, which is not a big deal for me because I don't think I really eat any seeds, except for the day before. The second day before, there was a jalapeno that came in my food with a ton of seeds in it, and I'm like picking it out. I'm like, I can't eat the seeds. Anyway, so the day before was all liquid, which liquid diet is juices and like popsicle. I think all I did was drink apple juice and like water, and I think I had like one other type of liquid thing. Oh, some Gatorade. That's the whole day. At 5, I'm gonna try to keep this quick because I know this is not a fun topic. Just something new to me.
I'm into medical stuff.
Yeah.
Poop doesn't scare me.
At 5 o'clock, so they give you this mix that you fill a gallon of water with this powder, and they give you a gallon jug, which doesn't really look like a gallon jug, but when I measured, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a gallon.
Yeah.
And then they're saying at 5 o'clock, every 15 minutes, drink 8 ounces. That's 8 glasses. So you drink half of it. That's 8 glasses every 15 minutes of this liquid that does not have any flavor. So I bought Crystal Light. In fact, I just drank my last package of Crystal Light, the lemonade, to mix with it, and then you just drink it, and it was chilled and it was fine. Like that was fine. And then you basically go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
a lot. Like every 5 minutes, it was happening. And then I would also, if anybody's doing this, do not use toilet paper. Stop.
Right.
Don't use toilet paper.
Don't waste it.
Use wipes.
Yeah.
There are wipes now that you can flush that are fine for not the wipes that don't. It's septic tank wipes. That are
one might get a bit raw.
So you get a little raw.
Mm-hmm.
So then that happens for like, let's say till 8 o'clock. I was basically doing that all night. Like, so from 5 o'clock to 8, it takes 2 hours to drink, by the way. It's every 15 minutes is 4 an hour, 4 glasses an hour times 2. So 8 glasses in 2 hours. And then basically another hour or two, I think it was like 2 to 3 hours of the unfortunate, the
Yeah,
unpleasant part.
yeah. You're not going anywhere.
I wasn't going anywhere. Believe me,
Yeah.
you're not going anywhere. And by the way, don't wear a belt. You never know. You got to pull those pants down real fast. So then I had to wake up. Then they're like, finish the second half 5 hours before you arrive, before your appointment. My appointment was at 11 a.m. 5 hours
to get
before
up.
that is 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I had to get up at 3 a.m. to finish the second half of this liquid. 2 hours it takes to drink, by the way, just so you're doing the math. So you're spending 4 hours drinking this stuff and the other hours pooping this stuff.
Right.
Go in and you're basically dry as a bone. I mean, like there's nothing coming. I mean, it's nothing. There's no physical things coming out of you. It's all liquid.
Yeah.
Go in, lay down on the thing. They ask you a bunch of questions, and then they were actually kind of concerned about my never having anesthesia before. And the one nurse was like, "Oh, you've never had anesthesia before? Oh," I'm like, "Is that a problem?" Like,
You're gonna get so high.
make me so nervous, right? Like I'm so nervous up to that point. I'm like, okay, let's just do it. I'm just like, as quick as possible. Answer the questions, do the thing. By the way, you're not completely naked. You put on a robe, you put on those hospital gowns, and then you're under blankets the whole time. Like the whole time I was under a blanket. At least, the part that I can remember. I go they wheel me into the room, and the anesthesiologist introduced herself to me. Her name was Illusion. Hi, I'm Illusion.
A woman of mystery.
I was like, what? I wanted to say something, but I was like, I'm not going to say anything, like, because I don't want to like make it weird.
Yeah.
This Illusion is a weird name, right? I mean, it's not a normal name. Anyway, so she's like, this might.
And then later they're like, there's nobody by the name of Illusion that works.
Right.
Yeah, I
What
was
do you
like,
mean?
did I make that up? So I go into the room and they're like, okay, turn on your side and act like you're sitting in a chair. Like put your knees up. Okay.
The decubitus position.
That's it. Is that what it is? Decubitus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Decubitus.
And then they're like, okay, she goes, this is going to burn a little. Sorry. I apologize. Like a light, I'm gone. Right. The next thing I know, Michelle is tapping me on the shoulder and I'm waking. I'm like, what happened? Zero. I remember nothing. There was like, it's all gone. Whatever happened is gone. So there we go. There's the story. It took me about 20 minutes to snap, like to wake up. Like it was like kind of you wake up and you're like, okay. Within 20 minutes, they're like, you can leave now. I'm like, cool. Get my clothes back on, dress, walk out. Oh, they wheeled me out because I was like, and they put they put a band on me, said fall risk. Like,
oh no,
I could fall. Got out to the car and we were gone. We were done and we went and had lunch.
oh my
I was
god,
hungry, believe me.
And yeah, right. Replace.
There you go. So if anybody is a 45 or higher, I think it's 45 now. They start doing these things.
You're
right?
a fall risk.
I'm 51, by the way, so I'm late.
Yeah.
I did have a slight dream. I feel like I had a dream, but I don't remember it at all.
Yeah. But you're just out and then back.
I was just. it was like. It was so quick. I was like. It was like instantaneous.
Right, you're like, did you guys even start? What?
Yeah. Did you guys even? Are they? Wait. It's over.
Yeah. That was
It
it.
is kind of weird how that propofol works.
Yeah.
I can see why Michael Jackson took it.
Yeah.
Because you sleep hard, and when you wake up, you feel like you slept for a long time.
Yeah.
And then, we were done. That was it. I was
like $1 million. How much did it cost me? Only $1,200. Oh,
yeah, it's
all
only
right.
$12,000. So anybody that's kind of like, here's the deal. I'm not a person that advocates for going to medical stuff because I really hate it. I hate all of it.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. It really
Nice.
was.
Good. I'm glad it went well.
Lance, do it.
Get her done.
Yeah.
Have you had one?
Both times when I was gonna have it done, they had to cancel them because
Oh.
like the people that were gonna be one,
Yeah,
it was
COVID.
because of COVID, and the
Yeah.
other, it was like weird thing. They actually called me back and they were like, so we're gonna have to reschedule you. And then they rescheduled me, and then there was a COVID thing, and I was just like, so now I'm just like, I gotta get it done. But this summer, man, I got so much crap going on. It's just tough to
Yeah,
I know. I should just go do
it's
it.
one of those things that like,
Get it
I feel
done,
like
yeah.
you should just check. I mean, here's the thing: if you got
No,
something, yeah,
not
just-
to be disgusting.
it's one of those things that's easily solved.
I understand. So, but it's like not to be disgusting, but I mean, like when I was having some serious medical issues, my wife went with me, and like she got to be in the room when I got a prostate exam. So it isn't like there's a situation here where it's like,
Well, that's different. You're
well, yeah, I know, but I mean, so it isn't a situation where there's like I'm too prideful. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
It
it's
just hasn't happened yet.
I have to tell you the past 3 months, my pride is gone with the doctors.
Right.
I used to,
Whatever. What do you need me to do?
Like, whatever.
All right.
Like strip. Okay, whatever. I'm done. Do you want me to take do you want me to take
How
my
many
boxers
people are
off
in the
too?
room? How many people are in the room? That's fine.
Yeah, like whatever. I don't care. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah. Hey, that's not a Juno 60 behind you, is it?
No, that is a
Okay.
Arturia. I've
Man,
lost
I
the
don't know
front
that.
name already. What is it called? I feel like I should know this.
That's all right. You
Can't
I
remember
think
the name of it now.
you've far excelled my knowledge. I just saw the little back corner and I was like, oh, I used to have a Juno 60 that looked like that. Maybe that only had one dial. Yeah, anyway. No modular anymore? Now you're going full
Oh, I've got modular too.
Okay.
It's crazy.
You're deep.
I'm deep. I'm in deep. I wish there was a board. There is a Board Game Geek for modular, but it's not quite what I want it to be.
Yeah.
It's okay, but
Yeah.
it's called modular grid. You can actually build your own systems. It's pretty cool.
Is it a board game?
Nope, it's you basically can drag and drop modules into a rack,
Oh, and then it like simulates
and
the
it just tells you like what's the voltages and the costs. you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't remember the name of this keyboard. What is it?
It's a Nord Excelsior. I don't know.
Why can't I not find
They
it?
always have funny names.
I'll find it.
just a bunch of middle-aged men talking about colonoscopies and prostate. Nothing to see here.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
about right.
it's not fun to talk about, and you'll be there eventually. You'll be 50 soon.
And maybe you won't. Maybe you won't if
Maybe
you
you
keep
won't.
talking like this.
Yeah.
Just like
If you don't get
sending all
checked, you might not
those
make it.
all those negative waves, out in the universe. That shit comes back to you, man.
Did Barry
Polybrute.
shoot
It's
you?
the Polybrute.
Polybrute.
Yeah, that's the name of it.
Okay.
So
What's the make on it?
Arturia?
Okay. I don't know.
Arturia.
Hmm.
So
I'm out of my element, obviously.
are you familiar with Reverb? The website?
Reverb?
Reverb.
Oh, Reverb, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a place to buy and sell gear.
Yeah.
And so I put the Polybrute on my watch list. And this is a really cool feature. And in fact, I think we're going to try to make this work on the Geek Game or the Board Game Geek Market.
It's like a watch, and it says
You can do watches, but basically the seller knows that I'm watching it and sent me an offer.
Oh,
And they sent me
interesting.
this offer that was like a good percentage off. I was like, wow, that's huge. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll just buy it because I was just like, okay, I'm not going to get a better offer than that.
Right.
So bought it.
Some pretty good prices on here.
Yeah, it's an interesting website. It's a community. I mean, there's stores there, but there are also individuals that sell
Yeah.
stuff. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I need a new acoustic guitar. And I've been looking for one for a while. Maybe I'll just order one. Not quite
Acoustic
in
guitar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not quite
Yeah,
in
you
Martin
should check out
territory.
The
but
website is really cool. I mean, I check it almost every day now, looking
Yeah.
for just deals
give me this deal.
or interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing about modular. Not the prices hold. Like something that's like
Right.
5 or 6 years old,
Still.
it's still like they're asking like the full price minus $20. Like
I mean, sound gear's
What's
like
the
that
deal?
though.
Yeah, I
You
guess it
know,
just
like
holds its value.
like stomp boxes are that way, and like if you have a good reverb pedal, like
Yeah,
it's still a good reverb
still
pedal.
good. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
like board games.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well, it's not.
you
Yeah.
should get Castell in here, Lance.
Well, he has the freaking pass thing, whatever thing.
Castellan, that old castle game.
I think his last name is Castelli.
Oh, okay.
Castell.
Casteller. Actually, we sold one of those. Steph Hodge nabbed it out of the geek flea market, or not the flea market, the charity sale. I was asking her, I'm like, do you think this is a more valuable game, more valuable than $20? And she's like, it's probably like 50. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Just what I'll just leave it there.
I played it back in the day.
First time through, she grabbed it.
Yeah.
Instantly.
It was a Steve Jackson. Huh, yeah.
Casteller.
Oh, Casteller. I haven't seen that.
You know that one where you build a pyramid of people?
Oh,
Yeah, it's a really cool game. Like I feel like it got
see it.
under.
How do you spell that?
Casteller.
Okay.
JELLO.
It's the.
With an exclamation point or without an exclamation point?
Hold on, I'll find it.
2008 or 2017?
2017.
With
We're
an
splitting
exclamation
hairs here. I mean,
By DeVere.
No, hold on, that's not the right game. I'll
Oh,
find it.
okay.
It might just be Castell. Yeah, it's Castell. From
Ooh,
Renegade.
2018.
we're
2018.
splitting.
There we go. I haven't played this.
It's pretty cool. You build a
the
pyramid of
cover's
people.
really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. You build a pyramid of people, and you're basically trying to get as because have you seen those people that do those Castells?
Yeah, yeah,
In real life, it's crazy how tall.
Yeah.
they are. And there's
the
guys at
people,
the
like-
bottom, like
Oh yeah.
they're like
they're all-
they're vibrating. Their muscles are completely like these. How are these guys holding this up?
yeah.
The human
And
pyramid.
then they get the
then
lucky
this
small
little-
child.
The little girl climbs up and rings the bell or whatever she's doing.
Right,
like,
right.
waves the flag or a handkerchief.
And everybody
For-
cheers.
it's a pretty cool-
Forza
pretty cool-
Equilibrium.
It was a pretty cool game.
Battle Sin. I can't speak.
And now it's out of print. Oh, actually, you can buy it on no, it's on Amazon. You can buy
Is
it.
that Uli Blinneman playing? there?
Castelli, I sent you an invite, so if you want to check your email, you can pop in if you want to. If you
I'm
wanna
pretty
grace
sure I know
us.
him.
Who?
It's like the fifth or sixth picture in on BGG. I think
Oh, no,
Uli Blinneman is sitting at the table.
Oh, yeah.
I could be wrong.
Uli Blenneman. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a friend.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares, Sean.
I like that guy.
Who? What guy?
Uli.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going someplace else with that.
Oh no.
I don't
I don't know.
we're looking at the same game, right?
Yeah, Castell. It's like the sixth.
With a bunch of
picture.
little tiles, like the little people.
Yeah.
I don't see Uli.
There's like 5 dudes sitting around a table. One of them's got a Bad Religion shirt,
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
and right next to that's Uli. Or at least I think it is.
That
Yeah.
is Uli.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Uli. Okay.
Prototype is presented to editors at Hippodice Game Designers Competition 2017.
Yes.
Bad
yeah.
Religion. Those guys were jerks. So at least to the
Were they?
security- Yeah.
That's too
Yeah.
bad. I enjoyed the music, but
Yeah. They were. Yeah. That was a security. That was a concert for security for. They were.
yeah.
They were peckerheads. But then again, like I said, every single time I ever dealt with like a person that was like, was like, well, for all I know, they've had like just the absolute worst. I mean, when I met
Right.
Clutch, like one of my all-time
Oh,
favorite
right.
bands of all time,
Yeah.
like I was like totally like, the never meet your heroes thing. I was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
super jazzed to talk to Neil.
and it was, yeah.
And he was just the most like just dismissive of like anything. I was like, hey man, I really like music. Thanks.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like,
Cool story, bro.
yeah, cool story, bro. Just
Yeah,
like,
that sucks.
I was just like, oh, well, yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
alright
I mean, I'm really glad you came here. Yeah, okay.
Are we
Yeah,
allowed to
just-
talk about the Obi-Wan? I really
I'm
like
allowed.
I
I'm
really
allowed
like
to talk
this.
about it.
I mean, we probably shouldn't, but I will say this about Obi-Wan. I really enjoyed
Spoiler
the
alert.
whole thing.
I like most of it.
I enjoyed
And-
most of it.
And the people that are like trying to poo-poo on it for like, oh well, burr, this plot hole and burr, this thing. It's like, you know
Yeah.
what? It's like you can't hold, like I've
Yeah.
said before, and I've said this again, Star Wars is just another show. It isn't, you can't hold it up to some mythical like platform anymore, because they took like the 3 movies of my youth that like just completely and totally transported me to a world of absolute wonder, and like
Space
like-
wizards.
and they took a piss on it with 1, 2, and 3, and then they shot it in the back of the head and
I feel like
buried it with 7, 8,
1,
and
2,
9.
and 3 were. I think 1 was good, but 2 and 3, no. Yeah, but
What are you
whatever.
talking about? Sith Revenge of the Sith is the best one of the 1, 2, and 3. I mean,
Which one is that?
Revenge of the Sith, the
third-
third
The
one.
third one.
I mean,
I
you know,
don't
and the
care.
thing
I didn't
was,
like the second or the third one,
the
but I
thing
like the
is-
first one. Actually, I'll watch the first one again.
Well, I'll watch all of them again. But here's the deal. So
I need to.
with all that stuff, it's like, with 1, 2, and 3, it's like, I mean, it shows how bad 7, 8, 9 were, that they made 1, 2, and 3, like they elevated it. It's just like, you know, I
Right.
mean, it was
Yeah.
just kind of like, you know, and like I've said, I won't go through the whole thing before, but if you told the story of 1, 2, and 3, like without tying in Star Wars to it at all, people would be like, that'd be a really good movie, where you're like,
Mhm.
yeah, so like the 2 best friends, like basically samurai, you know, like an old samurai and a young samurai, you know, the whole
I feel
thing.
like
They
one
found
is-
they
I feel
find
like
they find
one
a
is
child
the
as a
best part of
prophecy.
those movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like, and you go through the whole thing, and like people would be like, that sounds like an amazing movie.
Mhm.
And you know,
Yeah, if it didn't have any lineage, then it would be awesome. Can I
Right.
say? Can I talk about one scene in the last episode? That
you can
I
talk about anything you
really
want. I don't give a
wanted.
shit. I saw it.
This is a
It's not
spoiler.
gonna spoil anything for me.
It's
Spoiler
not a
alert,
spoiler for me.
turn off your sets.
Don't
turn-
listen.
Do not listen. Okay, so you know when he's okay, 3, 2, 1. This is it. This is gonna be like huge spoiler. So Darth Vader has got his helmet cracked, and
Yeah.
and Anakin is underneath,
Yeah.
and he basically
Wait, Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader?
Who knew?
Spoiler.
And he's Luke's father, by the way, and Leia's apparently. He says, I don't remember the exact words, but he was like, Obi-Wan was like, I've let you down, or what did
Yeah.
he say? I let you
I'm
down.
No,
sorry,
he
I
just says, I'm sorry,
failed
I'm sorry for like, you know, like for everything I did. Like
I'm
basically,
sorry, Anakin. I failed you.
yeah, I
Yeah,
failed you.
exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry
He
for
goes, "No,
everything.
you didn't kill, or what? I forget.
Oh,
He's
right.
like, he's
You-
like, you
you
didn't,
didn't kill
you know, it's
Anakin,
like
I
you
did.
didn't,
He,
you
re-
didn't,
he, re-
yeah.
he relieved him of the guilt.
Yeah.
He goes, I already killed him. He goes,
Yeah.
"You
Which
didn't-
then
you didn't
ties
kill him."
perfectly in
Exactly.
into.
And I thought that was a perfect way to do that. Like,
Yeah.
it does tie into the Obi-Wan.
From a certain point of view. Well, from
Yeah.
a certain point of view,
No, he
you're
didn't
kind
say
of an
that.
asshole.
He says Darth Vader killed your father, hunted and killed down and killed
Right.
your father, right?
No, he just says Darth Vader killed your father. That's all. He
Okay,
says.
yeah. That was
Yeah.
perfect. Like, that's all
Yeah.
you needed to do. It's
And
obviously,
which I agree with you, but I also felt like it was kind of a cop out. It was just like, how can we fix this? You know, like, oh, we'll do this. And which
Yeah,
the thing
I
was
wouldn't
is
have, I
that,
wouldn't have thought of it.
you know, I mean,
They did a lot of like, you know, finger in holes for some things, but that's fine. Like, I love that. I want to know how all that stuff, you know, like, oh, okay, that's plausible. Yeah. You know, like, I like to see that backstory.
How the only other thing I wasn't sure about is how did Obi-Wan get Luke's or Anakin's lightsaber? Is that in the
because you see it in Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, is
He-
that in the
He actually,
does he take his
they
lightsaber?
actually have a scene where after he cuts off both
pulls-
of his arms,
Yeah.
he
grabs
reaches
the-
down and
pulls the
picks up
saber.
his lightsaber and leaves with it.
Which is the blue lightsaber?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. Right.
I don't remember that, but okay.
I need to watch that one again.
I thought there might be something in the
Yeah.
video or in the
So,
in the series.
My whole thing is about
Oh, wow.
it is that hey James,
Hey, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us.
We're
No, my
spoiling
big thing,
spoiling Obi-Wan.
yeah. My
I know,
big
you're
thing-
right.
We can be done.
I loved it.
You cracked the seal, so now I get to say something. No, so my big thing with it was that, like that final episode or whatever. The two things. And I'm not the only person to say this, but it's like, it would have been more funny when they, spoilers, Qui-Gon. Well, he goes, so let me get this straight. I'm the only one that dies for being stabbed with the lightsaber.
Yeah. How do you get impaled with a lightsaber and not die?
There was like three
but-
people, three other
I guess it
people.
was
that didn't
instantly
die.
cauterized. It was just like a hole straight through. It didn't hit any.
You have to be either a child or like really angry about it.
Yeah.
And then you survive.
Obi-Wan was
what I
powerful.
liked was I really liked the Leia stuff where they tied, like when she was getting dressed at the very end and she like had the holster, and if you remember, like when they're on Endor, the moon, forest moon of Endor, the forest moon, like when she gets shot in the shoulder or whatever, and Han Solo comes over, like she actually has that same holster.
She has the holster on.
He
Yeah.
still has that same holster, and like
Prop
and then,
guy
like, when he-
opened up this chest and brought out the holster.
Yeah. But I mean, and it's the same holster that she has, and then so she still has it. I mean, I thought that was a really cool way to tie stuff together. And
I loved all those little touches.
and it was complete and total fan service. But I mean, it was like what I've said is that it's just like you can introduce new stuff and you can play around with things and you can do it, but like it's like Star Trek, it's like Star Wars. You have to have a certain amount of fan service. And now, since I'm talking about this, I want to put, if you're a fan of Star Trek and if you're not watching Strange New Worlds, that show is baller good. It is just, so somebody was like, oh, you're watching Star Trek Discovery? And I tried, man. I gritted my teeth and got through the first season of Discovery, and I was just like, oh. And then I started trying to watch second season. I was just, I'm out. I was just like, this isn't interesting. It's not keeping me. Strange New Worlds is, so if you don't know the premise of Strange New Worlds, it's the Star Trek Enterprise before Captain Kirk takes over. So it is Star Trek Enterprise, but it's Captain Pike. And if you followed the original Star Trek, I can't think when they make the show and the one episode to prove of concept. What's what we're looking for here?
Pilot.
The pilot. So in the pilot,
you're aware that these shows they have pilots, right?
Yes. So
pilots get made into shows, right?
Yes, I got the reference,
ship.
Jules. I got the reference.
person who
Anyway.
writes it.
Just making sure.
So anyway, so
Conscious.
Captain Pike was and they had a whole episode based around Captain Pike, and then but they didn't air the pilots. What they did is they had an episode of Star Trek where Captain Spock hijacks the Enterprise, and this is the 1960s, so I'm not, and basically Captain Pike had a horrible accident, and Captain Spock owes him a debt, and he's delivering him to this planet where he won't be trapped. All those things where you see the person in the chair and the thing just beeps once for yes, twice for no, and that's Captain Pike. And so he's delivering him there where basically he's still trapped in the chair, but they're able to create an illusion that makes him believe that he can walk and he's fully restored, and so Spock's trying to return. Anyway, the whole point is that in that pilot, they introduce all in the pilot originally the number one was a woman, and so in Strange New Worlds it's Captain Pike, and that character is his number one, is the second in command.
So this is a prequel to that.
It's basically Enterprise before Pike gets harmed, before his fate befalls him, and he actually is in a situation where added thing they recognize in the very first episode that he knows that's his fate because he was able to see into the future. It's a long story, I won't explain it, but basically he says, I know exactly how I'm going to die, and I know what's going to happen, and it's going to happen 10 years from now. And that's like this whole premise. And so he actually knows this accident that's going to happen to him. And we know, or maybe they're going to change it, but we know he doesn't die. He just suffers a absolutely gruesome like radiation attack. And but so if you go the Star Trek Enterprise, they've actually gone to, it is more futuristic looking because it isn't like 1960s sets, but they've gone to like great lengths to make it look very, future retro. Captain Pike's on there, Lieutenant Cadet Uhura is on the show. Spock is the science officer, and he is on the show. Spock is on there. They reference tons of Spock things. T'Pring, his betrothed, has been in more than one episode, and we know there's the famous episode when Spock has to go back to Vulcan to mate, and he's going crazy, and he basically has to go and get laid, and or else he's gonna die. That's basically, and so that's when him and Kirk have to fight. They even have the same music because Spock ends up getting into a fight with the weapons, and I mean, so if you are a fan of the original Star Trek and you know it, there's all these little like fan service callbacks. There is even the medical officer, the chief medical officer of Star Trek Enterprise is Mabenga, who he was actually in like 4 episodes of the original Star Trek. They actually had when McCoy had to go on like leave for different, basically like the guy who played McCoy wasn't available for whatever reason for those episodes. They actually brought this African-American actor in, Mabenga, and he was the chief medical officer for Star Trek. And so he's just the chief medical officer. And so there's all these characters that if you know the OST, then you actually see them and you recognize them, and you see them like, and you're like, oh, that's totally cool. But then, like I said, like it isn't Lieutenant Uhura, it's Cadet Uhura,
Right.
Because she hasn't progressed to that point yet. And it's super good. And there is like a little bit of overarching like storylines that kind of continue on, but it is firmly in the monster of the week type storytelling, where it's like kind of like X-Files was, where there was the kind of weird overarching like they think, but it was like definitely it was a situation where it's like, this is the crazy thing that we're investigating this week. Same thing. It's like, oh, this is the episode where there's something crazy going on with this comet. Oh, and like another thing is that this guy shows up, and then they're like, Kirk, it's good to see you, and then you're like, oh, is that supposed to be Captain Kirk? No, it's Rob Kirk, Captain Kirk's older brother, who was actually in one episode of the original Star Trek, and he was a Starfleet, and he actually was killed in that episode, but he was a Starfleet officer as well. And they've already even said that for the second season of Stranger Worlds, they're bringing Jim Kirk in. They've
This is a Paramount Plus show, right?
Yeah, but for like,
how much is that a month?
You can add it onto your Amazon Prime for like $5.
Oh, okay.
That's the easiest, best way to do it. If you got Amazon Prime Video, you might as well just pay the $5 and add it on. And that way you don't have to bounce around to all these different streaming services. You can just do it that way. But yeah, if you are a Star Trek fan, and especially if you're an original Star Trek fan, you gotta watch Strange New Worlds. It's so good.
Next Generation, and I stopped after that.
Yeah, I mean, and I've been rewatching Next Generation actually. I kind of skipped season 2 because they have that Catherine Pulaski old bag of a doctor in there. Like, Data, you're just a thing. You're not a person. That's like the running storyline of every episode. Oh, look at him. The computer thinks it has thoughts.
It's a human. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that cute? James,
where do you live?
If you had to know, Catherine Pulaski was in an episode of the original Star Trek as well. So
I'm sure.
Anyway, here's my daughter who just came over to talk to me. Probably was saying she's going to bed or something.
James, where do you live?
Me?
Yeah.
Near Sydney, close enough to Sydney.
Gotcha.
Have you had
Is
any
it
break-ins?
just this daytime there?
Oh yeah, no, not since the last one.
No break-ins recently.
No, not since the last one.
Oh, break-ins.
Had some other stuff. But I was sorry. What was that, Scott? Before?
It's daytime, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's only like 3 o'clock or something like that. It's
Okay,
end of financial year here, so I'm just loaded up with paperwork to
Papers.
you'd know what it would be like. It's just
Tax.
nuts.
What do you do?
I'm a motorcycle mechanic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've got a workshop and a mobile outfit that I run. So I'm sort of often in 2 places at once.
Gotcha.
But Thursdays I usually take off and watch you guys and do all the paperwork.
I'm sorry.
It's just perfect time. No, from midday
Yeah,
onwards.
And
I'm
Lance
laughing.
canceled last week, man. What a
Yeah.
What a jerk I am having to
I wa-
like pack my bags so I could go to Vegas.
Yeah, I did hear. I only came in pretty early into it, but did someone pass away? Is that what you were saying?
No. Well, I mean, in a sense, my niece got married, so like
Oh, right,
his
sure,
life,
sure.
her husband's
Yeah,
life is
that's
over,
the
right?
The
So,
beginning of the end. I get you.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
But bump.
Yeah. Perfect.
As my
That'll be
father
right.
says, it's like marriage is a wonderful thing. Everyone should try it 2 or 3 times.
It's pretty close. Yeah, right.
No, I am. It's for anybody who's wondering. I am incredibly lucky, and my wife is amazing. So
She's behind you. I get you.
Yeah, it's fine, man.
listening.
I get it.
I
No,
know
I
the
get it.
feeling. Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway.
So I just got a notice from my friend Ignacy Trebuchek is coming to Dallas in a couple weeks.
I just heard
Wow.
that on their podcast.
But why is he coming to Dallas?
He's doing like an American tour and visiting a bunch of cities.
Oh, well, it's weird he didn't mention it to me. But not that I'm like on like a real daily friendly basis with him, but I do know who he is.
what a great friend he is.
Yeah, he's a good friend. Anyway, so well, maybe I'll see him. I don't know.
I think he's going to like different board game stores and stuff.
Yeah, it's a board game store that's up in Plano, which is a city north of Dallas.
Yeah.
How many board game shops you got in Dallas?
Not that many.
How
Only
many?
two that I know of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right.
Wow. That's a big town to only have 2 board game
Mm.
stores.
It's an expensive town. I think that's why it's not that. It's like I don't know what it would cost to open up a board game store.
$1.
It's not all
$1. Well, when I opened mine, I did it about as like cheap as you could possibly open a successful business, and
Yeah.
we put I think 15 grand in to start, and I can't imagine doing it any less than that.
So the Common Ground Games is actually near the hospital that I was just in, and like it's literally like 5 minutes away from it. So it's sort of like in a weird part of town that's not. It's not like main center Dallas. It's like it's off to the side, like a little bit out of the outskirts. It's not outskirts, but it's definitely like it's on.
It's not the inskirts.
It's not like like an uptown or downtown. It's nothing like that, and it's not in the city center, and it's not. Yeah, it's sort of on the outskirts, and it's like a little strip mall. They've got a really nice store.
Yeah.
Called Common Ground, which is really cool. It's a good store. We went there a few times
right.
when Lincoln were here, and then there's another one in the Arts District that I've never been to,
Yeah.
and I'm drawing a blank on the name. It changed its name.
Somebody bought it out or something.
No, they changed their name
All right.
for reasons.
Oh,
So
okay.
So there you go.
can I
I've
mention
never been
something
to
that
that
has
store.
absolutely nothing to do with anything you were just talking about?
Well, there's 2 game stores that I know of in Dallas.
Yeah.
Go on.
There used to be more. But they're gone. And then the Madness Games, which is the one in Plano, which is it's a huge store. It's basically as big as a grocery store.
Madness is
Wow.
is truly it is. It's madness.
Did you get to go?
Oh yeah, I've been
Madness
there a couple
takes its
times.
toll.
It's like
basically-
no, I mean it's
it's like
a
a
giant grocery store, but it's a game store.
It's a game store.
Yeah, I'm
So-
looking at it
and
now.
it's
Holy
got a
hell.
ton-
That's
it's got
huge.
a ton of games.
Far out.
Yeah. And
Oh,
they do
there's
Magic.
nothing like E. That's absurd.
Yeah, I mean, and that guy's been running Madness. I feel like it's been like 20 years.
Plano,
Wow.
And
Texas.
he's moved around a couple times. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
It's a great store. I wish it was a little closer.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
It's like it's
Wow,
probably
that's
30 to 40 minutes
absolutely
drive.
mental.
We've got a store that's similar size.
Where are you located at the moment?
Portland, Oregon.
Or
Was it Mox?
Mox is pretty big, although I haven't been there, so I can't quite comment. No, it's Guardian Games.
I feel I know the name.
And then the store that I started is also decent size, but not that big.
So are you still running that, or you?
No, my buddy and I opened it together, and then I went off and did other things, and he still runs it.
Okay, so you still like a shareholder in it, or you still got a?
No,
tied
I mean
in,
I
like
have a lifetime, buy stuff at cost, but
Oh yeah, of course,
but I'm not
yeah.
but I'm not a shareholder.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
anybody ends up in Portland, Oregon, Red Castle Games.
Oh wow,
It's your
Guardian
turn.
Games is pretty
sounds so exciting.
Red Castle Games.
Yeah,
Build
that's
it.
I've thought about it a few times. A friend of mine did it. There's a franchise here in New South Wales, and a friend of mine did open once, and it was really successful. And they ended up buying it back off him because it
Oh,
was
interesting.
so,
They were like,
so
"Hey, you did a good job. We want that."
Yeah, it was a perfect location. There's a location here up north called Newcastle. It's about 2 hours from Sydney, and it's a really like I sort of grew up there a bit. That's where I first started gaming, and there's a huge
I've had the beer.
culture. You've had Newcastle's beer.
Is that an Aussie beer?
I don't think it is. I think it's
No, it's called
Yeah,
Newcastle.
probably
I don't think
English.
I don't think it
I
is.
think I
was
went
gonna say.
Newcastle.
yeah, I think it's English.
No, I mean that's like one of my favorite beers. I love a nuke. They're good.
Yeah, I've not even heard of it. No.
Sorry,
It's
just
it's
interrupting.
a British
Beer.
beer. Is it not British?
Yeah,
I think it's
And
British.
then there's there was a bar near me that had Newcastle and Guinness on tap, and having those like half and half, it's really good. They called it
Yeah,
so they
right.
called it like something midnight. If it was, it's almost as good as the black and tan, but then yeah,
Originally brewed in Newcastle upon Tyne, England.
Yeah, I'm just looking
Launched
at it
in
now.
1927.
Yeah, it's a darker beer too. That's interesting.
It's like a brown ale, yeah.
We've
Yeah,
got
it's
so
good
many.
stuff. It's
I don't
tasty.
know whether boutique beers are everywhere around here. There's breweries all over. Like we've got.
Is Foster's a real thing? It's not a real thing.
So here's the truth about
Is it
Foster's.
Australian
Let me
for
tell
beer?
you,
It's
no.
Australian for beer.
they
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
even sell it here. That's an Australian beer
Oh,
for
yeah, yeah.
Americans.
So they
That's
sell
awesome.
these big giant oil.
Yeah,
we call
well,
them the
we
oil
can't
can.
even get them.
Yeah,
If I
you-
go up the
yeah,
shop,
it-
they don't sell Foster's at all.
I think it's a Molson product.
I like it. I think Foster's is a good beer, but if you walk up here, you can't even get it. That's pretty much the most popular one here. And
Tui.
another one, Tui's new, and they've got Tui's
Yeah.
old and a whole bunch of other ones. And VB is the big one that everyone
What's
owns.
VB?
Victoria Bitter. So Victoria's Estate Bitter.
That sounds cool.
So
That sounds
quite,
cool.
so probably not far off
I'm still laughing about the Australian for beers. Have you seen the commercials?
Oh yeah.
Heard them?
Oh yeah.
I mean, as James has seen.
Right.
I've seen some of the American Foster ones because we
Yeah.
all get a laugh out of it here because
Yeah,
we're
it's
sitting there the whole time going, "What? No one drinks that. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
even get it." But when
It's awesome.
it occasionally, I know you guys have the real big ones, but that's the biggest we. That's going down a path we probably shouldn't go down. That's the biggest bottle we have. Is a
Was that like a
750
20
ml.
ounce?
Uh,
I don't do
Oh.
math. I don't do milliliters.
in
You don't speak metric.
it's pretty close to 20 ounce. Yeah, pretty close. A little bit bigger, not much.
Would you say what was it? 420?
750 mil.
That's like a bottle of wine.
That's 25 ounces.
Yeah, that's like
Oh,
a
okay.
750 mil is like a bottle of
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah, that's about it. But there's breweries all over the place around here, and every suburb sort of got their own little thing that they have on tap at the pubs and whatnot. And
Well, fancy.
it's all right. No board game shops, though. Just lots of pubs and grog shops.
Bring your own games, man.
Oh yeah, good luck. I wouldn't walk into any of them.
No?
Oh, no, not around here.
That's where those break-in artists live?
No, not it. It's just they're just a recipe. I'm too old for that shit. You're bound to walk into trouble if you walk into one.
Really?
Yeah,
In
yeah,
the-
oh,
in the-
100%. They're always looking for a fight. Always
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for a fight.
Really?
Around here, Sydney's a bit more upmarket, a bit nicer around here. If you go into, because you got to understand there's a TAB in there, which is a betting thing. So
Mhm.
there's a whole TVs all around the ceiling running the races 24/7,
Right.
and there's poker machines and
Interesting.
everything in there. So it's a very different sort of culture when you go in there. You've got the regulars who basically
Yeah.
are there all the time, and then if you're not there all the time, it's
They
a cultural.
give you some guff.
They can try it on, but sometimes it can get pretty. Like I've got friends who are security guards in Sydney that because I keep saying there's heaps of jobs here. Why don't you move here? Because it's cheaper living, and they're like, I'm not working as security there. Right.
Fair. All right.
It is what it is. I grew up with it, so you sort of get it, but it's not bad. It's just different. Yeah. What about you, Lance? Board game shops? How many
In my
Minnesota?
area?
Yeah.
Let's see. 1, 2.
They're a dying breed.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's. Let me think. There's like two
I think
that are like
shipping's gonna
there are
change that.
two that are like a block away from each other, and there's a third one that's more of a Warhammer store, and then we actually
Yeah.
have a Warhammer store. So I guess there's 4 technically.
Is there is online stuff
Is
just
that in
completely
Moorhead?
taken over, or Amazon, or
Barry's back.
Like the
I
Fargo
think-
Moorhead area, you know.
I think the shipping issues are going to drive people back to
And-
people that can make larger bulk orders like game stores. So I think
And the
it's
Barnes
actually
and Noble has just a like an absolute, like I don't know if it's normal for
Shit
Barnes and
ton.
Noble to be like this, but like they have a giant area for their board games, and then there's actually like spots for people to play board games there too.
really I
Like,
didn't know that.
like just like
Yeah,
there's 3
wow.
tables, and like it seems like anytime I go into Barnes and Noble, there's somebody there playing a board game with somebody.
At least 2 nerds.
At least 2 nerds, and I walk over and I knock it over and nerds. Then I go look at. Then I go and pick out manga
That guy's
for my
name?
son.
I'm just looking it
Ogre?
up. I know
No, not
I had
Booger.
heard of
Booger.
No,
No, no,
Ogre.
that was
Who was the bad guy?
Ogre.
Ogre.
Ogre. I was like, no, Booger was the guy from
Ogre
the
was
other
the
one,
guy, and then he was in the house.
Yeah.
Jim Belushi one.
Yeah, he was the
Or
guy
John
that
Belushi.
won the burping contest.
Yeah,
House
yeah.
part or
Yeah,
Animal House.
Animal House, that's what it was called.
that movie would never be able to be made.
Oh no!
Oh,
yeah.
hell no.
There's so many
One of them
bad,
would.
like questionable things in there.
Oh,
I actually
like
watched that with my
pretending to be
nephew.
somebody else and having sex with them. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's one of the smallest things.
Yeah.
that's what you think rape is one of that's well just.
Oh no,
I'd like to apologize.
there was a
Scott.
lot of there was many questionable things in that movie. Yes, that was bad.
Yeah.
Curtis Armstrong
Yeah.
is the actor who I'm thinking of.
Yes, Curtis
Yeah,
Armstrong.
he was Booger. Yes, rape is not. Yes.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
like casually racist.
Yeah.
You know, sexual
that stuff.
predation.
Oh, it was a culture.
It was a product of its time,
It was.
and we'll just leave it there.
As we are.
Yes.
Who is
But
the
the thing
main-
is that we can evolve.
The movie
and
Right.
can't.
The
The
movie
stuff,
can't,
the stuff that was made can't be changed. So they
Yeah,
were
you couldn't-
actually like the guys, if I remember correctly, the
Oops.
guys that did Super Troopers
Yeah.
were actually like in production talks to do a Revenge of the Nerds remake.
Oh, that's
Alright.
awesome.
It just
Mm.
never
Never happened.
it never happened. I might be my neurons might be firing incorrectly. On
It was
that.
Robert Carradine, and there was one other nerd who I cannot remember his name.
Robert
He's the guy.
Carradine.
He's the guy who played.
Robert Cardi?
He,
Not
he
related
played Goose.
to
Goose, yeah, who's
Yeah. Oh, what is his name?
Poindexter. That's the other guy.
Oh, it had the Asian kid too.
No, here's the here's the big question.
Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards.
Who played his dad?
Who played?
I don't
Drove
remember.
the car there. Like remember they had the big trunk up on top.
I don't remember.
Yes, it was. Hold on.
I haven't seen this movie in
I feel
like
I
10,
know who
15
it is.
years.
It wasn't Rick Moranis, was it?
Nope. And I can't. I'm trying. I'm blocking on his name right now, but I mean, I can picture him.
Kabuki's just said Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anthony- that was the other nerd. I
That
was
was the other
Oh,
guy.
That was the
The
other
guy on
Robert.
ER.
Is Robert Carradine related to David Carradine?
No.
Okay.
I can't remember the guy's name right now. He played the farmer
was
in Babe.
Lewis's father.
He played the
What was his
farmer
name?
in Babe.
The farmer.
And he was in Star Trek.
James Cromwell.
Yeah,
James Cromwell. There you go. That'll do, pig.
That'll
That
do
was,
it.
the,
that was a
that
good
was the
movie.
father. I don't remember.
Yeah.
that.
One of the things I when
Oh, there it is.
in Star Trek,
Mr. Skolnick.
in Star Trek, I wished that because James Cromwell played the guy that the first ever person to go warp speed from Earth. Like he was the guy, and like they went back in time because the Borg went back and whatever. Anyway, so when he I can't remember the character's name, but when he actually pulls off the warp and like propels himself like basically from Earth to Jupiter or whatever it was in like a second, and then he kind of like and he looks back, and I always wish that when he looked and seen how the warp worked, I wish he'd that'll do. Because like Babe had just been like, but
James Hong was in the movie.
Who?
James Hong.
yeah,
I don't know who that is.
He was in it. He's in every movie.
he is. He's that
He's
guy.
not a star. I just
yeah.
don't remember.
He
him.
was
So I remember reading about him that
he
like
was in everything.
when like he said I was just the we need an Asian guy in
Yes.
this movie.
Oh,
And
Big
would-
Trouble,
and they would-
Big Trouble in Little China.
yeah.
Oh, that's
And
the
so-
Asian kids. Okay, I didn't know his name.
No, and then so his big thing is that so like they're like we need an Asian guy, and then they would get him, and like there was tons of times when like they were like
Golden Child, that's right.
he would come in and
Yeah.
they'd be like like he said literally they'd say karate, right? And like he didn't, but he's like yeah I do.
Sure.
Yeah,
course I do.
just
Why
like
not?
because it got him the job, and
Right.
Yeah, there can
Of
only
course
be
I do.
one.
Of course I do.
We all know karate, right?
Yeah, we all
of us,
know.
every one of us.
Yeah, just
He was in so many movies.
he was cash and checks, baby.
Yeah.
Right?
He's still acting today, I think.
I'm sure.
He
All right.
was in he's in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I seen him in. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good movie.
So speaking of movies, when we made the comment of the $1, I was reminded, and again, product of its time, so it definitely has some moments that now haven't aged well. But oh my gosh, Trading Places is still a quality, funny movie.
Eddie
With
Murphy
Dan,
one? Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
When they're like,
There's
it's
too many.
like,
There's too many bad things. Now.
well,
Yeah,
no,
right.
I mean, if you go back and watch it, they're really, yeah, there's bad stuff.
I
Just
think there's a few things. That
but I just remember that like the line where it's when he's sitting there, it's like, so they ruined my life over a bet. That's right. He's like, how much was it for? $1. Just like, and the next thing you see, he's cleaning out his shotguns. He's just like, and his butler is just like he's just bringing him another one, to him. He's like, you can't just go and shoot a couple old guys in the kneecaps with your shotgun because they made you mad. He's like, oh yeah, why not? It's called assault with a deadly weapon. They'll give you 25 years for it. What do
I
you
actually
suggest?
tried to learn the commodities market based on that movie.
Did you really?
Well, because I mean, who knows? Do you know how the commodities market works?
You got a point.
I don't.
Well, I mean, and the thing is that
They
you have
pull a
to,
number out their hats.
Well, no, I mean, the whole thing is that like you when you're trading the commodities, I mean, and I might be wrong, but my understanding is when you're trading commodities, you're basically like until margin call, you're playing with fake money. You're just like you're saying, I want to buy
Bitcoin.
1,000 of this, and I'm willing to sell 1,000 of this. And then after all is said and done, you have all those orders, and like at the end of it, it's like
I like how they look at the pile of orders they've got and like, they start.
yeah, no, I know, and it's just like so you have all these different orders, and they're back and forth, and so at the very end, it's like it's like you're selling basically on futures and things like that. So when they're sitting there waiting and they're watching the price skyrocket, and going up and up and up and up and up, and then all of a sudden Dan Aykroyd yells out, selling 1,000 at 248, and everybody was like, holy crap, because nobody's selling anymore because it's not going to be worth any money. So all of a sudden they're just like, holy crap. And so then they lower, then when they lower it all the way down to like, $60 or whatever, he's like, okay, we'll buy them, and so basically they have to buy back to the exact same number that they sold.
Yeah.
And so we bought,
it just makes no sense to me how it's not.
We bought 10,000 units. Yeah. Cause it's all like on fake, right? We bought 10,000 units at this, and then we sold 10,000 units at this. And the remainder is, you don't have to actually own anything at that point.
Yeah.
But you pulled it off. And I mean, and what Dan Aykroyd says, it's like the last bastion of true capitalism is on this floor right here.
So Robert Earl Jones was in this movie, father of
James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Robert Earl Jones.
Yeah.
In Trading Places.
Yeah.
Or Revenge of the Nerds.
What
Trading Places.
part?
I'm just looking at it now. Where did it go? I saw the name and I was like, what? He was an attendant.
Yeah.
He was, an attendant.
Wasn't it when he was running around with Jamie Lee Curtis? That scene when they went to that party or that mansion or something.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. It's been
a very young Jamie Lee Curtis in that movie.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I think that's the scene. They went to that party. I think he was in that scene.
Al Franken. Al Franken was the baggage handler.
Yeah, one of the two baggage handlers.
With the gorilla.
Don't you see they're in love?
Yeah.
Yes, classic movie. No, I mean, see, look at this. We're already quoting it. We're
there's Al Franken, baggage handler number 1.
It was.
He certainly did.
That was.
Oh, diddly.
Yeah.
Mortimer Duke.
Which, and then how about in the first I can't remember. I can't think the first. Okay, and then they just came up with a sequel that wasn't all that great at all. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy Coming to America. How he takes all the money and he hands it to the old the bum, and then the guy wakes up and he's like, Mortimer, I'm still not talking to you.
That was a good callback.
Did you like the second one?
That's in the second one as well?
It was just so all over the place and just
I thought it was just a fun movie.
I didn't see the second one.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. I mean, I put it on. I mean, admittedly, I put it on as background noise while I was working. I was like, I hear something I might find interesting. I'll just put it on.
Yeah.
So, it might have been better if I'd paid attention to it, but I wasn't really going to give it the, my time because I'm just so much better than it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we know how you
sequels.
Yeah, years after the first one.
I was trying to remember 1980s movies that would still hold up. And
apparently Top Gun.
Did it?
I still haven't gotten to see that sequel. I've heard so many people say it's really great. I mean,
it's a good movie. Yeah. The kid who plays Goose's kid, Ben Stiles.
Well, I don't know that Goose's kid is in the. Thanks for ruining the movie for me.
Goose had a kid. Oh, great.
What do you mean you don't know? It's in the fucking trailers and all that.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
I don't watch trailers.
Spoiler alert.
Where am I going to watch trailers? I don't
But
watch
anyway,
trailers.
He's a pretty good actor lately.
Is Iceman in the movie?
Yeah, I did hear that. I heard that Val Kilmer is in the movie.
I think he's in it, yeah.
But I seen that. I think it's Ben Stiles. I can't remember. But I seen him in another movie with Thor.
Chris Hemsworth.
It just came out. It was pretty interesting, but it showed his range of acting in it pretty well. It's about a experimental drug that's pumped into these people. It's interesting. I think it was on Netflix. Can't remember the name of it.
What's the name of it?
I can't remember. I'm trying to think. Jen threw it on, so I wasn't really paying attention.
That's nice of you.
Did you see
Your wife wants to share something with you, and you
there's
can't
like
be bothered
a
to watch.
20-minute segment that was on the Late Show or Tonight Show, not Late Show, Late Show, I think, with James. What's his name?
The British guy,
The British guy.
James Corden.
Gordon.
Cord. Have you seen that?
Corden.
Yeah.
It's pretty good with Tom Cruise. It's pretty good. Apparently, he really flew the plane.
Oh, Tom Cruise is a pilot. He's
Planes, yeah.
going to kill himself. And I'm just waiting. He said he wants to go to space next. It's like,
Harrison Ford was a pilot.
They're paying. Yeah. Hopefully they took that license back.
Do you remember when they there was
What
that really
happened? I
good
didn't
meme?
do something
There was that
happen.
really good meme where because like he crash landed the plane on that golf course or whatever.
He's
And
crashed
then,
a couple
and then
times.
they had like
really?
the kind of fuzzy like Boba Fett like coming up on the thing.
What? I don't know.
It was like a meme. They took a picture of Harrison Ford's plane that like crash landed in the wreckage. And then like in the foreground out of focus, you could see Boba Fett like with his gun out walking towards the wreckage or whatever. It was
I didn't know he crashed.
it was good. It was I was like, that's quality. That's quality. I thought that was funny. I giggled.
I was on set with Harrison Ford for like a thing I did in my 20s. And even though he was kind of crotchety and grumpy, like it was still pretty badass to like watch him do his thing, you know. He was still pretty badass.
So
have you seen the when I came in Mark Hamill does his impression of
Yeah,
him?
he does a really good impression.
That kind of movie kid.
Ain't that kind of movie kid.
Ain't that kind of. So I think I told this story before, but Dave from Game Night.
Yeah.
Acted with him on the Young Indiana Jones. Like there was one episode where Harrison Ford was in it, and Dave was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know he was in that.
Yeah, one episode.
Dave, I didn't know Dave was in it.
Dave was in it. Yeah, he's one of the bad guys. And there's he basically points a gun at Harrison Ford, or Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And he does something, and he grabs the gun out of his hand, and on set he broke Dave's hand. But Dave
did he?
Well, Dave goes, my hand. Oh, that really hurt my hand. But he didn't know he got broken. But he found out it was basically broken.
Oh,
badass.
Yeah. So Harrison Ford broke Dave's hand.
There are some movies that hold up.
Accidental
as far as 80s
badass.
movies go.
was that
Sorry about that there.
Indiana Jones?
All right about that, Dave.
Those are some movies that hold up.
It's a bad show. I watched it on YouTube. It's very corny.
Yeah, it's not very good. I don't
think I've ever seen it.
It's not, well, I mean, maybe they didn't have a good writer, but
What was the name of the show?
Young
Indiana.
Wasn't that River Phoenix?
It wasn't him on the show.
No, he played in the movie.
He did in the movie, yeah.
The third one, I
The
think.
Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
and then search for the Harrison Ford cameo, and you can see Dave getting his hand crushed.
So, Evan, was Harrison Ford as tall as you thought he would be? Like, I met Stallone and Mel Gibson and somebody else.
Harrison Ford, I don't remember him being particularly tall or short.
Yeah.
I think he's probably like 6 foot or something.
I find them all to be shorter than what I thought they would be.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The few that I met, Stallone was real short. He was like
he's real
5'6" or something.
Yeah.
But I was
He's
a kid.
Tom Cruise,
6'1",
and it's well known that like Tom Cruise is like short.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says 6'1", which means 6 foot. Probably. Yeah, he was.
I found the scene. I'll send you a link.
Okay. Maybe that's why he didn't want to shake my hand. He was afraid of breaking my hand.
Yeah, maybe.
Nah, I doubt that.
That's what
Well, I don't think he knew that he broke Dave's hand. Like Dave,
he
he
probably
didn't tell
did.
anybody, but he found out later that his hand was broken.
He told we were blocking a scene. I was a stand-in for the other actor, and we were blocking the scene. I was supposed to walk out and shake his hand, and he said, "I'm not going to shake your hand."
You said
I
that?
started laughing because it was so.
So I wasn't going to
ridiculous.
shake your hand either, you old bag.
No, I just laughed.
How old is he?
Okay, he's getting up there, 70 something.
He looked like there's a couple scenes in the Crystal Skull that he looks like a grandpa. You can kind of cut, he's got like grandpa.
Yeah.
He's got grandpa.
79.
Ooh, so
Yeah, Harrison Ford. Yeah, he's up there. All of them guys are. Schwarzenegger,
He's
Stallone.
He's
they're
still
all up
doing
there.
all right for 79.
And I was wondering about that the
he
other
was
day. I
badass.
was like, who's
are they
going
making
to
another
be-
Indiana Jones movie
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're-
it's coming out soon actually.
at 79?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's going to be
It's
interesting.
going, hopefully it's the
I
last
felt
one.
like, I felt like Crystal Skull had a little bit of that. Like,
Mm,
I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah.
One. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't like it.
My buddy Brad put it perfectly. We were walking in the movie and I was just kind of like, and he was just like, so two things. He said, one, how did they ever get the crystal skull out of there? And two, so if Indiana Jones had basically done nothing, the same result would have happened. And
I
I
don't
just sat there and I stopped there. I was like,
what was the
God.
plot? I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
so like the guy,
crystal
so
skull.
they find that crystal skull and then they go back, and to get in, they have to put the crystal skull on the thing
On
to
this
get
pedestal,
in.
yeah.
And to get in. So, but the crystal skull was kept inside, like, so it was like one of those things where it's like,
Oh, I see.
yeah. And then when they walk in, basically
Logic problem.
the evil Russian people, because it couldn't be
Yeah.
Nazis anymore. The evil Russian people
Right.
Damn Russians.
we're gonna do something to like basically turn on the power of the thing. And so when they turned on the power of the thing, the alien power basically killed all the Russians, and the UFO escaped. So if Indiana Jones had never gone and investigated it at all, the Russians
It would have all
went
solved
there,
itself.
and
It
it
would have
was
solved itself.
the exact
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
You know, it was just like
That was
you know.
with who was the kid in that? That was
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
It's
yeah,
a
they,
shame.
they were hoping he
can't-
was going to take over, right?
Well,
I think
that's the
so.
thing. That's the thing.
The
At
movie
the very end,
bombed.
at the very end of the thing, there was like the kind of the
What
weird
was a
passing of
dumb
the torch,
plot?
where he reaches over because they're at the church, and then Indiana Jones is getting married to Marion finally, and then he like reaches over to take the hat, and then like the whip comes, if I remember correctly, and grabs the hat and flips it, and Harrison Ford grabs it and he goes, "Not yet, kid," and he puts it.
Right. Teaser.
The
So
fact that you can remember that. I've seen it once. and
Yeah,
I
me too.
wanted to forget.
Yeah.
I've seen it once
okay.
too, but it was just kind of an iconic thing, right?
Or you
And that's,
just
I mean,
have a
that's
really
one of
good
those. That's one of those movies
memory.
where when I say the best thing about the Indiana Jones movies, they only made 3. Just like,
They only made 3. Yeah.
yeah, they only
Like
made
The
3. Just like I say, the
Godfather.
best thing about the Matrix movies is they only made 1.
Well,
Godfather
Yeah.
movies, they only made 2. You know,
the
I mean,
third
it's just-
one, rewatched that. The third one now.
Godfather 3 is garbage.
It's not as bad now in retrospect. Like it's pretty much a remake of the first one. Just with different players.
Wicked Kid corrected you, Lance. There was no whip.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Well, I'm sorry, Lance.
You did not use a whip in that scene.
God.
Don't crow about your memory too hard.
I wasn't. Somebody else said I can't believe you remembered it so well. Jeez. Jeez. What was the one thing I was gonna say? God dang it. And she got me all riled up.
That damn Kabuki.
That damn fucking Kabuki.
I love her.
James, you still playing games?
Yeah, I've been a little bit more lately. Yeah, getting
What
a few. At the moment, I'm still trying to get my head around Nevsky,
That's
which I don't know whether. Yeah, it's a pretty full-on rule set, so I've been working towards that. But I've just been doing a lot of other projects and that, wrapping up financial year. But this one takes a bit to learn. So,
What is it, a war game or?
Yeah, it's a war game.
Okay. I haven't heard of that one.
No, it's by I can't pronounce. I'm not going to put. Sorry, Lance, go.
No, I was interrupting you. Go ahead.
I
As you
know
will.
there's always a delay, so I always.
Yeah, them
I'm
people
happy
down
to-
under.
The speed of light can only go so fast.
Yeah.
Yes, you're not wrong. Yeah, Australian internet.
I
Um,
I almost purchased I was when I was at Origins, I almost purchased a war game because I was like, because I really like playing B-17 Flying Fortress. I still pop it out once every
I've
like
yet to
4 or
play
5
that one.
months. And then, and I never picked up a copy of B-29. And then I found basically they had a copy. And like, I know I can buy a B-29 online and stuff like that easily enough, but it was one of those things where I was like, oh, I should get this kind of thing. And then like, oh, do I really want to spend, you know, $50 on a board game? And I almost did it. I almost bought it, and I was
Son
like,
of a-
screw it. I'm not gonna play it anytime soon. Just one of those things where can I buy it online? Yep. All right. Well, then I'm not gonna buy it right now because I'll just buy it sometime later.
That's generally cheaper to buy games online than at a convention. Is that?
Always.
Oh,
It almost
Yeah.
always is, but like
Unless you-
it's that whole
That sucks.
game in hand thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
something,
yeah.
like, you get it
Yeah.
instant gratification, and you walk out with a game that may not be available online.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
I've
Yeah.
purchased so many games at conventions with the idea of like, oh,
Yeah.
I should just get it because it's right here, and then like
Yep.
and then like 3 months down the line, I basically sell it to one of my friends for $20. I'm just like, that was stupid. Why did I buy that?
Yeah.
Sucks.
No, I've been buying a lot of secondhand games lately. I just wait and see if something comes up and buy it. They're too expensive to buy new all the time, you know.
Yeah.
I don't
Board
blame
games
you.
are horrible and nobody should play them.
And then you got the hype died down after, by the time you're getting to it.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
But like Kickstarter's pretty well out for me. Like I look at it
Yeah.
just because I'm interested in it. But like,
Yeah, what's the shipping cost?
I don't even
Probably
bother.
not
oh, you
great.
don't even go
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
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 Back in the day, it would be $60 pledge, $80 for postage.
Wow.
And
And that was
it'd be
before.
more than now they're doing some drop ship thing, which is a little bit cheaper and more
Okay.
affordable. But I don't. I look at it because I'm interested in the games, but I'm patient. I got a heap
Right.
of
You're like,
games.
I'll
I've
check that
played.
back. I'll check that out in a few years and see how
Yeah.
that does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I'm at
going to
that
say
stage, Jim.
your game here.
Almost always.
I was in a shop the other day. I saw your game, Evan.
My game?
That junk pile.
I'll look it up.
After the Empire.
It's nice. I never see it in the wild ever.
No, they had it, and I'll tell
Neither
you.
do I,
it's
but I haven't really been out looking either.
Australian, it retails for $160.
What's it, US, Evan? Do you know?
The retail
I'll look it
US.
up.
Is this for the retail version or the deluxe version?
I'd be surprised if you have any retail versions. I mean, it's got to be a Kickstarter. I mean, I could be wrong, but
It's from a shop, so
Who knows how
this
they
is-
got it? Yeah.
yeah.
Was the box this thick or this thick?
Oh, I don't remember, to be honest. But
Oh.
I'm looking at it online here, but I don't think it says.
It's really hard to get right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if people charge whatever the heck price they want.
Oh no, that's its retail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just how much it retails for.
That's got to be the deluxe. I would
I'm
think.
surprised. Well,
It probably. I don't know.
Jim, I'm surprised shipping so expensive. Well, you're in Sydney, right?
Close enough to it.
Close
yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
I'm surprised shipping so much coming from China to you has got to be shorter than going from China to the US.
Yeah, but they usually go, from what I'm understanding, it usually goes to the distributor first, then they send
Yeah.
it to somebody
So-
here, and then
I mean, I can't
chaotic.
speak for other companies, but for Australia and New Zealand, you basically have two options. You can use, I mean, if somebody's got another option that we can explore, you use either VR distribution or you go through Good Games. And
yeah. So Good Games is that franchise that I was telling you about that
Mm.
gentleman
Yeah.
had, and they're pretty big here. Like they're the only real board game store that's franchised out.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and VR is really good to work with. But the thing is that when you have a Kickstarter, like, we'll have, like, I mean, we got, 4,500 backers for After the Empire, the reprint. And like, there's maybe 80, Australian, New
Right,
Zealand orders,
right.
all that.
That makes it rough.
And it's just
Yeah.
kind of like, and
I didn't
so
think of that,
it's not even, a full pallet. So you're trying to figure out a way to, get it onto a ship with some other stuff that's like either you find another company that's heading that way, or you have
Nice
like
guy.
if you
See you, Scotty.
thanks, Scott. You and so to like figure out a way to like get it on a boat to leave China and head there. I mean, it's just it's super weird, man. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like it's
look
like so you almost always like you want to have in China in a warehouse somewhere. Like usually VFI is the place in China. Like almost everybody ships through VFI for Asia, but also people will keep stuff in stock in VFI as well. So like say you have, and I don't know, I can't, and I don't know if this is the case with any game recently, but I know that like lots of game companies, they'll like, so they'll contact like Good Games and just say, do you want to purchase any of our other backlog titles? Like you want
Okay.
you want 100 copies of Champions of Midgard,
Right.
and so then you can put a whole pallet together, and to send. But what happens is that usually you have to figure out some weird courier service to get it over, like and get it there.
That
That
a
would,
bunch of middlemen.
like we're all used to it's not, we're all used to how much things are, and particularly with postage and that. Like it's an island. To get anything from overseas is always pretty pricey.
Yeah.
Even what was it the other day? I had to send a petrol tank back to the supplier because there was a amount wrong, and it was a plastic tank. I think it weighed 6 kilos. It was fairly sizable though, so it wasn't crazy heavy. They wanted, this is going to another state in Australia, it was $82.
6 kilos. Yeah.
Within Australia.
Within Australia, just to the next state. And so then anyway, it doesn't matter. He ended up footing the bill for that. He paid for it because it was their mistake.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so he's got to pay for it to get back as well. So it's $160 out of pocket.
How much was the item to begin with?
$40.
$1,000.
Okay. So it still makes sense to do it, but wow.
No, it was it wasn't me who bought it. It was a customer, and then I couldn't get the fuel pump to fit in the fuel tank.
Right.
And I rang him and said, "Have you ever had a problem with your fuel tanks where there's a thing hitting the fuel pump?" And he's like, yes. And I was I said, man, I've been trying for an hour to get this thing to fit. He's like, oh, you're gonna have to get it back to us, and I'm gonna have to pull it out and fix it. And so anyway, he was good about it, but that's how much the postage was.
Wow.
But no, I'm got there's a lot of, because a lot of your stuff's on GameFound, isn't it?
I mean, some of it is.
Yeah.
You maybe just think something. My wife got new blackout blinds for our room, and she was like, well, it's just like guy had good ratings or whatever, and they're the right size, and we had looked at but like blinds, but she found just when you're looking at blinds and they're like, oh yeah, $196 whatever, and then like you find something on Amazon that's like, it's like, oh, it's like a $42 option. Well, you get it and you see if it works, and then if it doesn't, oh well, what are you out, and I know that sounds kind of lame, but but literally these things had the worst instructions of all time. They were like a single sheet of paper that basically explained nothing. Like it didn't tell you, like, and there was like maybe 6 parts total. Like, and I remember, like, it was one of those things where, I mean, I went from like the dizzying highs of like successfully installing the ceiling fan in our room and actually working, where I was just like, look at me, look what I've done. I used electricity,
Holy shit, you're easy to please.
and then I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, and I'm fighting. We're fighting with this blind system, and I mean, and it was one of those things where it was probably the thing about it that probably drove me the most crazy was that basically like the two I'm not going to explain this really well, but basically there are these two hooks that basically the blinds, it was like basically a roll blind, but it actually has a pulley. And so you have to put both of these things like in, and then you have to hold it up, and then you have to screw it into place, into your window frame. And I was like, and then they actually do have a thing where they say, it's like if for true blackout, like you get one that's larger than your window. So then you mount it outside the window on the inside, and you just pull it down, and it like covers the entire window. But these were made to be, this one was perfectly sized so it would fit inside the window. It's like, so, okay, we had this thing going. And I remember I was sitting there and like, so the one we could put in just without having the blind actually attached to it. So I got that one screwed in, and it was just like one of those things too, where, it's like you have to use a hand screw, and it's like a weird angle because if you use a drill, you're just going to strip the thing because you can't apply the right amount of torque and all that stuff. And I remember we went over and like, so then you got the thing in there. And I remember I was like, man, that second one, I was just sitting there, just like, and these like screws that are like, this long. And I'm just like, ugh, like trying to do it. And man, I came up with brand new swear words. I invented a few new ones, but got it up. My wife and I did. And we didn't get in an argument. We didn't start screaming at one another out of frustration because we weren't really mad at each other. We're just mad at the blinds. And the best thing is that they actually do what they're supposed to. They keep the light on. My wife is very like, I remember when we were first started dating, one of the first times she was ever over at my apartment, like I always would leave the light above. I had this one bedroom apartment. I just leave this. There was this little tiny light, like I like maybe a 25 watt bulb that was above my sink, and I would just leave that on always. So if I got up in the middle of the night, like there was enough light in the room where you wouldn't have to trip over anything, and I could go use the bathroom. And I remember I was like just starting to fall asleep, and she was staying over at my place, and all of a sudden she was just like, I mean, it like literally it's like a single candle piercing the darkness. Like you can't see it. It's like nowhere. And she woke me up and she's like, the light's on in the kitchen. I was like, yeah. And I was like, do you want me to go turn it off? She's like, no, that's okay. And I was like,
put the lights on.
Okay, but the light's on. She's like, so I should go turn it off then. No, it's okay.
No, it's fine.
Like,
I just can't sleep. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I was just like, I'm gonna go turn it off. And I went and I turned it off. And like, yeah, that was like she would be able to see that light or whatever. So she's really, she's a way lighter sleeper than I am. And which was also problematic when it came to when we had kids, and not hearing the baby like cry, because I was just like out. And then, to the point where like she'd be like, or the dog's whining to go outside. I just don't hear it. I'm like, I think I told Evan this before, but like that's my superpower is I can fall asleep anywhere, anytime. Just like time for sleep. Okay, yeah. Put my head in the pillow. I'm out. Yeah, just like there's no tossing and turning and trying to like figure things out and trying to. Like, no, just all right, shut it down.
Yeah.
I'd love that ability. That'd be perfect.
When I've gone to conventions and people are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I snore," I was like, "Won't matter." As they're talking, as I'm
Sound like my wife.
Interesting. Yeah. No. I don't know. Yeah. Can we get blackout blinds? They're crazy. They're, as far as like keeping the light out of the room. I mean, it's like literally like if we put them down and you close the door and you turn the light off in the middle of the day, it's like the room is pitch dark. I mean, like there's like mean, as long as like the hallway light is on, then the light comes in through underneath. But no, you can't see anything. It's just completely out.
Yeah, I sleep with mine wide open.
No,
But
I
I
used
live at
to-
the end of a cul-de-sac though, so I don't get passing traffic, I suppose.
Yeah, we live in a cul-de-sac too, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't. I mean, like, there's a train track probably about a mile away from us that like regular intervals, middle of the night, you'll hear, I don't hear that. I'm out, just like, it is weird though. Like I remember reading something where like, this is old. So now we have phones and everything for our alarms and whatever, but like, does anybody else remember those old alarm clocks that either when like basically if the hour hand would get to a certain spot, that's what like basically was
With
like
the trigger.
the electrode would go off and it'd be like it was just make a noise like it was like just things just shaking basically. Or I had one of these, like the actual like with the numbers that would flip. Like you ever remember these? They weren't digital. They were like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the two
the
ones
analog
cut in
and,
half.
like, and it would
Yeah.
they would flip and things like that. And so
never had one of them.
so like with both of those types of alarm clocks, people would talk about the fact that like they said, I always seem to wake up like a minute before my alarm's going to go off. Like they wake up and then like their alarm goes off and they're like, why does it do this? It's like, and it isn't like a circadian rhythms thing where it's like, I always get up at 7:00. It was like, it doesn't matter if I set it for 7:30, it doesn't matter if I set it for 6:30, it doesn't mean 8. I'm always waking up like just a minute or like, just like it's seemingly like just moments before my alarm goes off. Like I'm like, wake up with it. And then the thing goes off. And what they found out is that there was this kind of like low frequency background noise that the alarm clock would make, like as it was like revving itself up to like
Getting
actually
close.
like this kind of like this weird like click, like click, like that, and your brain was so tied into that it would hear that noise and be like, oh, that's the noise that happens before the noise that wakes us up, so that it would wake you up when you would.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I the other crazy thing is, and has this ever happened to you when you're sleeping, like when you like you're awake, and I'm not talking about vivid dreaming, I'm not talking about that, I know what that is, where you actually like kind of pick what you want to dream about. But I mean, like, you're awake and you're just kind of like, you're thinking about whatever that's going on. Like, it's like, oh, I'm kind of awake right now. And I'm just, I wonder what time it is. And you're just like, should I check what time it is? And so I should, because if it's like 10 minutes before I'm supposed to get up, I might as well just get up. And you're just kind of, but like, it's one of those things where like, if there is like the fan in the bathroom's on, or if there's something else, like just a noise that's like a repetitive noise, something like that, like you aren't even aware that the noise is going off, and then all of a sudden like I don't know, this is weird. It's like, because like sometimes my wife will leave the fan on in the bathroom, the master bathroom, and I'll just be lying there and I'll just feel like I'm just kind of awake. I'm just kind of awake here. I'm not really thinking about anything. I'm just like, should I have to get up? And all of a sudden I'll realize that fan is on, and all of a sudden it's the loudest noise ever. It's just like, I didn't even know it existed a second ago, but now all of a sudden I realize there's like,
Oh yeah.
You're just like, what?
That way with the bathroom fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Turn
that's
that
another
thing
thing
off.
too. Like I used to fall asleep either to nothing, or the radio on, or the TV on, or something like that. It's like, that doesn't work for my wife. Like she has a box fan, and the box fan just runs like the just the noise from the box fan.
I'm the same way.
I've got a white noise machine.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just, I don't need, I mean, I can fall asleep one way or the other. It doesn't matter to me. It's just like, whatever. I'm out.
For me, it usually drowns out other inconsistent noises, which is usually dogs barking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't focus on it so much because you've got a constant something happening.
So
Helps.
I
with me
mean, I
anyway.
was gonna bring this up. So I went to Vegas. My entire family was there. Went to a wedding for my niece, and then anyway, so I came home, and like one by one, members of my extended family just bam, COVID, bam, COVID, bam, COVID, bam.
It's getting
COVID.
everybody.
And so like I heard, and I was like, holy crap, and like we left a day early compared to everybody else. And so I was just kind of like, oh shit, and I went to the rapid testing, like the main office, and they did the whole thing, the throat culture negative. I did another test for myself, a home test today, came out negative. So I'm like, did I somehow just skip? My wife and I just managed to skip past the one day, that everybody got exposed to it apparently, because it's just like, I mean, I just, it's weird.
Out of curiosity, was it an outdoor wedding?
No, it was indoors.
No. Okay, right. Yeah, you dodged a bullet.
Yeah. Well, he's had it before.
Well,
you know what I mean? Yeah. not necessarily a bullet, but he
knock on
dodged
my
it.
fake wood here, because I mean, I gotta leave town on Tuesday next week, so go to Dice Tower Con. I don't need no.
Oh yeah.
And Shane definitely doesn't need me to feel like
He does a
Right.
few cons now, doesn't he? He does like Dice Tower East and West and.
See, we've never done Dice Tower West that I know of, or formerly known as Meeple Con. But I mean, we did Origins, we're doing Dice Tower, we're doing Gen Con, and like, I mean, Origins was a waste. I mean, and I don't mean that to be mean to Origins or Gamma or anything like that. But I mean, they said they had 11,000 people show up. No fucking way. I mean, that it was a ghost town. That convention was a ghost town.
I love watching the convention footage just from YouTube channels, and I was watching that Quackalope doing a view, and it didn't look like the normal.
I mean, I was remembering customers as they came by. Hey, how'd that game turn out? I was just like, no, I mean.
So, Jim, is are cons big down there in Australia?
There's only one that I know of, and I've been once, and then they tried to grow into. No, this was it's called CanCon. It's in Canberra, and it was pretty good. Martin Wallace was there when I went, but then after that, they tried to grow into toys and games, and they wanted Lego to come, and so they separated, and it just
died off.
Yeah,
that Australia game that he came out with like 3 years ago was really good. The Martin Wallace one.
Yeah, was it which one was that?
The one where the Cthulhu monsters are coming.
Australia.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah. I haven't played it, but I was curious about it.
That's a good game.
Yeah, I might grab it. I have seen it, and it did look. I like his games. At the time when I was there, it was Unk Morepork was being trialed. Like it was like a paper map and stuff like that. But he was pretty cool. But it was really small, man. Like there was like maybe 15 stalls, and the rest was just gaming. Yeah, but there's a few other ones that I've been to over the years. Mother of All Battles, they call it Moab. That was much more tabletop orientated, but they were great. But it's just there's not a big enough market to do it if you know. But I've been to other ones which are usually just held up the top of pubs where they've got like a room.
Okay.
And you go in there, and there might be 50 people. You sit down, and people will be playing games or play testing their designs, and that, which is cool as well. Done that a few times, but there isn't anything, wowing or exciting that things may have changed. Hopefully it has, but CanCon was always the biggest one. But yeah, Origins looks huge, but I did notice this year, I was like, it didn't look like all the movement and all the buzz that you usually would expect.
Yeah.
So it looked a bit awkward.
Yeah, I really don't know.
People, I'm guessing, would still be a bit nervy about COVID and stuff. I noticed a lot of people wearing masks and everything, which I think
It was required.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It looked like it was because everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a good thing, I suppose. But hopefully, Gen Con's the bigger one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gen Con was
that-
always so big that I didn't like going. There's too many people.
That's why I don't want to go to one. Yeah, I don't like
couldn't
crowds.
imagine. But one day I'll plan
Come
on.
on.
I really want to get over there one day and just go to one and just see what it's like. But yeah, it'd probably be Gen Con's the one that, but Board Game Geek Con would probably be fun as well.
That would be the one.
But I
I'd
don't know.
suggest. Yeah.
I really like.
Well, depending on what you want. If you want the spectacle, of, we got all these games out. That's Gen Con. If you want, to play games, that's BGG. Yeah.
Yeah.
Origins
I'd
used to
probably
be
just
like
go to
that. I don't know
play.
if it still is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I always heard, that Origins was a bit more like actually physically gaming, and the exhibitors was the big thing for the exhibitors was Gen Con.
Yeah.
Gen Con is a sales convention.
Yeah.
And it's also a business convention, but it's more about like, getting your new games out there and making a few bucks. And then, if you have time for business deals on the side, you do that too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Under
But
the table.
it's mostly about interacting with the public.
Yeah.
At least that's my perspective. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I think that sort of seems fitting from what I've had it described. So this Dice Tower Con, Lance, you're pretty keen, or?
I don't. Conventions for me are like a double-edged sword kind of thing. It's just like I really enjoy seeing people that aren't Evan. At conventions. Yeah, and I really like hanging out with Shane, my boss. It's just he's like truly one of my best friends. So it's just like I really like it, but hate being away from my family. I hate being around tons of people now. I think there was a part of me that like probably just had a overall distaste for being around a bunch of people and like just a lot of noise and stuff already. But then like being in solitude and just kind of not having to deal with people kind of like really kind of egg that on. My family got tickets to go to a Cirque Soleil, whatever show. And like I went to one and admittedly, I had almost no interest in going to see it anyway, but whatever, we went. And it was like, I was watching this and I was like, okay, this is, like impressive what these people are doing, as far as, all their abilities and to do like balancing and strength and whatever. It was intense, right? It was cool. But like the music and the sound and the noise and everything, like halfway through, I was just like agitated. I was around all these people, and I was just like, I couldn't get comfortable. It was just and I've noticed that happens to me when I'm around a bunch of people. I like start getting kind of agitated, and I'm just kind of like, ugh. And it doesn't. And plus the whole like, oh hey, you're gonna give me some disease that could possibly kill me. That's great. That's great.
Doesn't help.
No, not at all. And then you're at like Dice Tower Con and you're just like, and they're like, we're not going to make anybody wear masks. You can wear them if you want to, though. Well, we know goddamn well what's going to happen. It's like 99% of the people aren't going to wear masks. It's just the way it's going to be. And they're not going to. And it's going to.
Why don't they just rapid antigen test everyone before they walk in?
I don't know.
We're beyond that in the States.
Because that would be an invasion of your whatever.
Oh, yeah, righto. If there was anything like that here, hands down, we'd have to do it. There wouldn't be.
And if you said that, they just wouldn't go. And then the convention, which remember the convention is a business, and that they do it to make money.
People travel to go there, so if they got there and then were told they couldn't go in, it'd be a disaster.
I
didn't think. Yeah.
I actually seen that on a cruise when I went. A person wasn't allowed on. She flipped. She was pissed.
Oh yeah, you would, wouldn't you? Yeah, yeah. Because what if it was a false positive as well? Just 24 hours later, you don't have it or something. I don't know how accurate they are, but I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must be nuts.
So no, I just
Stressful.
Yeah,
It's work too. Like you're working there, aren't you?
Yeah.
But I mean, I like interacting with people. I like talking about games. Just it's definitely something that I enjoy. It's just even in the best of like times, I was
The worst.
I was Luke. Even the best of times, I was pretty lukewarm about the process, and
Yeah.
and so it's definitely like one of those things where I don't know, I will it's fine. I mean, it's definitely, like I said, I enjoy interacting with people and what have you, but it's I could and the thing is Shane kind of feels the same way too. Like he's definitely got the idea of like I could I could never go to another convention ever, and he said I'd be pretty happy. You know, I mean, just like
Oh, he
you
would
know,
miss me. He would miss me.
No, I wouldn't.
no, I would. But yeah, it's just kind of like I mean, I don't know. Gen Con, I mean, I'm a little more excited to go to Gen Con. One,
That's August, isn't it?
Yeah, you gotta wear masks. Two, my daughter's coming with, so that'll be a lot of fun. I really like
How old
spending
she
time
now?
with her. She'll be 15 in July.
Yeah, right.
So I mean,
It's crazy.
it's no shit, man.
Is she taking friends with her, Lance?
No, it'll just be me and her. And she and I, like, we are, peas in a pod. So it's just kind of like, I really, I mean she's 15ing hard, but
She's still treating you okay.
I mean, it's
It goes by quick. My niece just graduated. I was 18 already.
Yeah. So I mean, so Gen Con will be fun. So I mean, and that'll be and she's excited to volunteer at the booth and hang out and do the thing. So it'll be good.
Just gonna shut the door because of a dog barking.
Oh, yeah.
Damn dog.
Yeah, I just finished. There's fumes in here from painting, so I don't want to lock the door.
Why?
Dog's
I'm
annoying.
like a little high from the paint. No big.
Yeah, I've been at it for a bit, so should be pretty well dry now. Yeah. So Gen Con sounds like the pick of the bunch. But the Dice Tower ones, man, that guy's gone out of control since I got Tom Vassell.
Oh, Tom,
Jesus,
yeah.
hell. He's dedicated, that's for sure.
Oh, he's put a lot of hard work into that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Him and all of them, Z and all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Scotty and Lincoln and them. They put a lot. Rodney's the same thing. They put a lot of work into what they do.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. It'd be hard doing it for a living, though. I reckon that'd spoil things a bit for me personally. I've worked initially, I was really interested in motorcycles, and then you sort of get burned out. Not so interested. I love working on them, but I don't enjoy riding them as much as I used to anyway.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. So I reckon, you can mixing a hobby and pleasure to that degree that they are. That'd be intense. That'd be hard work, I reckon.
Yeah.
But they seem to be cracking along.
Yeah, they're doing their thing.
It's one of those things where you have to make a living somehow, and if you can enjoy it a little bit.
Oh, and they all seem to be,
yeah.
I just worried that you'd burn out and then be like, I want to take a break, and then you'd be like, I don't feel like playing a game because I'm burned out. You know what I mean? And then you
I'm sure they go through spouts of that.
Oh, you have to.
I've done some video. Everybody does. Who does the media? It just. And you're right. Getting back to it is tough.
Yeah.
But I think that's why Tom and Rodney and all them picked on so many other people just to avoid that, so they could take some time off and just worry about the business end of it or whatever. From the because I'm sure it does burn you out doing it constantly like that, and then supervising all them people.
Yeah. That'd be wild.
Like I said, they all do a good job.
But you're still
Yeah.
doing reviews in that, Lance. I've seen a few of yours every now and then. I saw a sort of a storytelling RPG game recently you did.
Yeah, I mean, I
Was it
still
a
get
preview? I think it may have been.
yeah,
a preview.
I mean, I still get an occasional person that wants me to do a video. I just tell them, look, it's like it isn't like the old days where like I'm not going to move the needle for you, but if you really want me to do a video for you, I'll be happy to do it. And just like, and then they're just like, yeah, sure, just like, and I'm like, okay, well, if you really want me to do a video, I will. Just like, and then
Nobody's gonna care, but I'll do it.
nobody's gonna care. I mean, the only people that are gonna watch it are most likely gonna be the people that
Nedry, we've got Nedry here.
the people that are gonna watch it are the people that you're already going to your page. Maybe they'll use it to affirm their choice or whatever, right? Just
that's
like,
the same. I'm just doing videos now that I like. I just want to enjoy making the videos. I don't want to worry about anything else. I just want to do content that I think would be fun and funny. I don't want to worry too much. By the way, Lance, at the end of this, can you do that shake your head and I'll just film you while you're doing it?
like what? I don't know what you mean. Like it's like this.
Yeah, that's perfect. Just do that at the end and I'll film it. That is perfect. Because I've got the camera all ready to go. Just do it. There's a bit of an in thing here that in regards to a new video I'm doing, a silly music one. And I did hear, Evan, you play guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Have you got, and you're looking for an acoustic?
Yeah. Because my old guitar is like, it doesn't have a, whatever that's called, a truss rod or whatever.
And
so
in the center of the neck. Yeah.
The action is like, if it's in tune
Really
down
hard.
here, if it's in tune down here, it's not in tune up here. It's like,
is that nylon string or?
No, it's steel string.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
that's
regular
not a
steel
truss
string.
rod.
But
yeah, it's odd without a steel one, without a rod.
So it's just a little bit
askew.
So the action is like super crazy
it's
high.
Not too hard to play.
It's like so it's I need a new guitar.
So do I.
Yeah, oh no, there's I was gonna say in Australia there's and they're popular in America, but they're called Maton.
Maton?
MATON guitars.
I don't know it. Is that like an off-brand Martin?
No, they're pretty high end.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect them to be cheap.
Australia's version of vendor.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. So here they range from 1,300 Australian to about 2,100 for an acoustic. So they're really high end.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of famous guitarists play their acoustics, but I know that they make electric ones, but I've never seen one. That's not their thing, but they're a steel string. I think it's a big country and western sort of style of thing.
Looks fancy.
Yeah, they're apparently a mate of mine's got one. It's very good, but I can't really.
Yeah, they've got some famous people holding these things.
Yeah, I've seen. I know the guy from not Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age. He plays an electric one. I know that.
Who's in Queens of the Stone Age?
I can't remember the singer's name, but he's been in a few bands. But he plays a Maton, I think it was.
Yeah,
nice guitars anyway. But I don't know. You guys, you can't go wrong.
With just because I'm not like super guitar nerd, so just because I haven't heard of it doesn't mean.
Oh mate, you can get heaps of stuff that's like quarter the price of that. That's way better. It's just a matter of feel. But yeah, it sucks if it doesn't have a truss rod. You can't really get it serviced.
Right. Yes, it's like once it's warped, you're like, okay, well, I can stick it near a fire. Stick it near a fire with some moisture and hope to like hold it for a while in a different position and see what happens.
I've got a mandolin
that's what they
that's
suggest
like
you to do.
No, I doubt it.
I would assume you'd like take off the finish off the back and, like you said, wet it and then bend it back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Refinish it if it'll stay that way.
I would destroy it if I tried it. Quite sure.
That's
Quite
garbage.
sure it would be. Yeah.
Lance, do you play anything?
I don't play anything anymore
No.
unless it's play testing stuff.
He hates games.
He hates
Uh,
And,
games.
and plus, I hate games. So
He hates games.
Hmm.
Son of a bitch.
you know how it is.
Son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Son of a
Son of beach sheet.
bitch.
God damn it. But yeah.
Jim, have you tried Academy Games the Conflict of Heroes series?
No, they were always. I should, because there's one on the market, like Board Game Geek marketplace. I was sort of eyeing off recently because it was reasonably priced, but they were always really hard to get here.
Oh, are they? Okay.
They just, I don't know whether at the time they didn't have an importer, but there was another one, something to do with bear. I think I can't remember.
Yeah, it's part of the series. Awakening the Bear. Or
Yeah, that's it. That
it's
one.
part of that
one was another
system,
one.
the Conflict of Heroes system.
Yeah, that was another one, but that was so hard to get that I just like that. I would have had to have ordered it from Academy Games at that point when they were pretty popular.
Right.
Yeah, I do want to try them because a friend of mine really rates them highly. So
Yeah, I've played.
Should get on it.
I have a few of them. I haven't played the Guatemala campaign. I don't think. Yeah, that one I haven't played, but the other ones I have. Even the solo variant with the Awaken a Bear, and it intertwines with a couple of them. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
No, that's I think the closest, because are they block games? A couple of them I've seen are block games from them.
Nah, they're mostly
a little bit different.
Yeah, they're mostly the chits and
Yeah.
I don't think they've done any block games unless with this new.
It was, I'm sure one of them. I think it may have been a completely different series within Academy, but I'm sure they did a block game at one point.
Yeah, maybe.
Can't remember.
Yeah, Academy usually makes good stuff, but I didn't realize it was so hard to get down there.
Yeah, it was. It might be easier now, but I did look up a few of their games recently and there was nothing. But as I said, I did find a couple on the marketplace that were pretty cheap in Australia, which so that might be a goer, particularly if I can pick them up. It'd be even better. I do a lot of driving. I'm always in Sydney, so it's not going to be hard to head out over there.
Columbia Games does some pretty good ones too.
Yeah, that's what I'm painting at the moment. I'll see if I can bring it over. Were you familiar with the game Julius Caesar?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
So I've made, you know how the board is pretty average?
Yeah.
So I've done this, and I'm doing a video on it as a bit of a thing, but it's a wood art.
Wood art. Cool.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. It's pretty big though, so I won't be said.
Yeah, bring it over. Hey, what's going outside Lance's window? Is there lightning out there?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Ooh, look at that.
He can't hear me. I want to see how he did this. Looks laser etched.
That's freaking awesome.
That's
Is that laser or did you burn that yourself?
Nah, that's wood burnt, yeah, with a hand tool.
That's awesome, dude.
So it's sitting there with the varnish on it now, and I've got the battle mats either side, and all. It's going to be pretty cool. But I'm turning it into a whole table when it's done.
Oh, cool.
So it's going to be my solo gaming table, but it's bloody heavy and pretty awkward. It'll be good when it's finished. I'll just go put it back one sec because it's still sticky.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that varnish takes a while to dry. That's cool. Why can't you do shit like that, Evan?
I don't have a wood shop, my friend.
I
don't have a wood shop. My dad was a carpenter. I
don't know if you can hear that or not. I apologize, but I've got a giant thunderstorm and I got to go take care of the house.
Yeah, I just saw it in the background.
Yeah, we're seeing it.
No, I got dogs freaking out and people running around. I got to see if I got to take down a canopy outside or if I can let it go. I got to check on it. So, I got a nice stripes reference. I remember that. What my reference was. Who cares? Anyway, all right, here. You want the thing? Just go like this.
Oh yeah, just do that. Yeah, hang on.
Oh, jeez. The best camera focusing in on, if you can actually like
Click on him.
yeah.
I'll click record or something, can I?
No, you can
Yeah.
click just him on the screen, so it doesn't show
Oh
up.
yeah, I've got that there.
So it's
yeah.
just me?
Yeah. It's just you. So just look to your right and shake your head like I'm a moron.
That face.
That's perfect. You got it down, Pat. You're
That's
done.
usually
Yeah.
the face I give one of my kids when they say
I've
something.
disconnected my headphones. Sorry, I disconnected my headphones. That's perfect. That'll do.
That'll do, pig.
All right.
That'll do. All right, everybody. I apologize.
Thanks
I'm
very much
gonna-
for having me.
Oh, the stripe reference. Son of beach. Sheet. God damn it. Yes. So everybody be well. Take care. There will be no Alaboom next week because Dice Tower.
What's happening? Oh,
All right.
I'll forget and try to sign on,
Try it.
but that's okay. I will. I'm gonna try. It's not gonna happen.
All right.
All
Get some
righty.
rest, everybody.